All right, everyone. Just checking really quick, making sure I updated the page. So hold on, just bear with me a moment. It is updated. So let me just type in on this box right here. Because there are probably there's people literally, there's literally people on the page watching right now that are watching last week's recording and thinking they're on a live training right now, which is pretty cool. I kind of like this whole Google Hangout thing. And for those of you that, you probably know this guy, you've probably seen him around. But for those of you that don't know, I got my good buddy. He's actually my personal mentor and a sponsor in Empower Network and the team leader here, Mr. Chris Rushlow. How you doing, buddy?
I'm awesome, man. Glad to be here, dude.
Very, very exciting. We've got a couple other team members here, team leaders. Perig Venetier should be jumping on in a little bit, perhaps, and Amy Starr-Allen will definitely be on. She said she had to put her kids to bed pretty soon, and then she was going to hop on and crank it with us. And so, some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, Chris, I know you don't know a lot of the details, Chris, because you kind of just jumped out here last minute. We just kind of bumped it. What were you, first off, before we get into tonight, Chris, before we get into how people can help their team members have success right away, and not just in Empower Network, but in whatever company they decide to get involved in, it doesn't matter. They're going to be able to take these principles and apply it no matter what they're involved in, but they work extremely well here at Empower Network. And before we get into that tonight, why don't you just share with everyone what you were doing today and how cool that really is, man?
Yeah, today it started off where I rolled over and I looked at the clock and realized I didn't have a time that I had to be up. And every day I think that's still pretty cool. And then I looked at my phone and I checked the ski reports. For all of the mountains surrounding the new town that I just moved to in Frisco, Colorado, and I bought my season pass, and so this winter's all about hitting the slopes. Mm-hmm. And I just moved here about a week ago, so I'm just getting settled. I've only gone boarding once, and I picked up my phone and saw that, oh, wait a second, Breckenridge, which is only about a 12-minute drive from my apartment, from my condo here in Frisco, 12 new inches of snow. And it was just that simple that, okay, I'm going to go. I didn't have to call a boss. I didn't have to call in sick. I didn't have work that I had to be to. I didn't have anybody to answer to. It was just real simple. I ended up just getting up and taking off and going boarding. And that's just what it's like when you can make that happen in internet marketing. And so I've got enough income where I make my own hours. So I went and snowboarded most of the day and then came back and did a little work afterwards in the late afternoon. And that's what my day is like. And that's what most of the days will probably be like here for a while. So that's kind of what my day was. It's been a good day.
Awesome, man. Awesome. It's funny. I want to welcome on first off and let everyone know who's here. Perig Venetier from, you're actually not in San Francisco anymore, buddy. You're down in San Jose, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct. Yep.
Awesome. Just moved into his own house that he purchased with his girlfriend not too long ago. That's awesome. And Amy Starr-Allen just jumped on the hangout here. I know she just got her kiddos to bed after a fun day. And is here. So welcome.
Hey, you too.
Cool thing, Chris. I actually woke up this morning to an alarm clock. And the reason was because that's the only time that my financial advisor, my good friend, I think you might know Taylor, he's like, dude, can we do breakfast a little bit earlier? I'll take you out to breakfast. I'd like to throw some numbers past you. And I said, man, that's kind of early being to breakfast at 9 o'clock in the morning. But, if that's the only time that you can make it up here in the next week or two, then, yeah, let's do it, buddy.
That's a good reason to have an alarm for one day at least. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, he's helping me plan for retiring at age 45. So, or sooner. But, so Amy, I know you've got a list of things that we want to discuss here tonight, and I'm very excited about what I want to share about how to help team members get results faster. But I certainly want to have you kind of go through and discuss. I know you had a little bit of a list of things that you definitely wanted to cover here tonight. I don't know if you got that handy or what the case is. And also want to just mention, this is a live team hangout. This is our way that we communicate with our team on a weekly basis, and how we help them, train them, teach them, let them know what's going on. This site actually has the recording. The site that you're on right now actually has this recording up all week long. People have actually been, I've been kind of glancing in all week, and I've seen no less than 6 people on here all week long, which means people are literally watching our team training all week long. It's a really cool thing. And the really cool thing, too, is the people that aren't in the team can actually click the buttons down below and actually join whoever invited them here. And, if you aren't on the team, when you do that, when you actually get started with us here at Empower Network for just $25 in our team, you can not only leverage everything we're doing, but you can instantly start inviting people with the link above. With that link above, by putting your username in at the very end where you see someone else's username. When you put your username in there and invite people here, they join your team. How cool is that? You make the 100% commissions. Pretty cool stuff. So very exciting, and I'm pumped about this. So, with that being said, Amy, do you want to share a little bit of some of the things you want to get covered here this week?
Yeah, well, I know that we've got, hi everyone, I can't put my name up because I can't get on Firefox, and for some reason I can't put my name in Internet Explorer, so sorry, my name's not here.
You're so recognizable, Amy, you need no introduction.
Perfect.
And I'm trying to shift gears here. I've just had the most hectic, you have no idea what just went on here. So anyway, I'm just trying to shift gears. Just came out of a very chaotic gymnastics thing, with a show and like traffic and crazy, and I just barely made it here. So here I am, and yes, I know that we've got a lot of really exciting things happening right now. Jordan, thanks for everything that you are helping us create here with co-ops and stuff. And I know that people are, I just want to bring some clarity to the different co-op opportunities and things like that that are happening for people that are on the team and for people that might be looking at joining the team. This is one of the biggest, in my opinion, one of the biggest benefits to being on this team is that we do offer a lot of ways to help people with their marketing. Even if they don't know anything, they can jump in. And as I shared last week, when I joined the Empower Network with Jordan, I got my first 100 leads by jumping into one of his co-ops, and that's how I started my business. I just gave them some money and I got leads, and some of them signed up. And so it makes it really easy in the beginning before you have a chance to go through the 15K per month formula and get all of the training that you need to start, becoming a master marketer. You can take advantage of Jordan's expertise, and and I have a marketing co-op that I've been doing for my team as well. And so there's ways that you can plug in and start generating leads without having to know anything. And so I would love to shed some light on the different things that are happening with that, so that people are kind of get a better understanding about why this is so exciting with the new funnel that we just created, and the different opportunities that you are doing with that. And then I'd love to also go over some mindset training and talk about some of the we talked about some of the stuff, Jordan, but just some of the things that are just as important as knowing how to be a marketer when it comes to having a business like this: being committed, being persistent, having a success mindset, and believing that you can do this, believing that it doesn't have to be hard, stuff like that. So I would love to get into some of that stuff tonight as well.
Perfect. Well, why don't you just kind of start? Do you need a moment to kind of refresh it? Because I remember, Amy, like it was maybe a year and I think it was last year. No, it was 2 years ago at around Christmas time. We were taking my nephews and nieces to get pictures with Santa Claus. Okay, and so there was about, let's see, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There was 5 kids walking around and 1 little baby in a stroller, and there were 9 adults, okay? There were 9 adults and 6 kids, and I was losing my mind. I was completely like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just losing it right now. So I got to tell you, for being a mother and dealing with more than, what was that, like 0.5 kids that I had to deal with 9 adults and 6 kids. and I was just losing my mind. So I can imagine what you went through tonight. It's probably way worse than what I went through there.
Yeah. Well, it had nothing to do with my kids. This event was insane. Like there was just too many people in this building, and it was like we couldn't get out of the building. Like it was so crowded, and everyone had to take off their shoes, and no one could find their shoes. And my 4-year-old was getting trampled. It was insane. Oof. Like it was just, and then I had to like rush home to get them to bed so that I could get on here and. Just like scampering through the whole bedtime routine and just all of it. Yeah, so it has its yeah, there's definitely some challenges, and I didn't really get any work done today either because my 4-year-old doesn't go to school on Tuesday, so I had the whole day with her, which was great.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it is awesome, and it's all good. I'm grateful for just that my daughter is able to be in gymnastics now, which she wasn't able to. Not that long ago, was just a luxury that we didn't have. So I'm definitely grateful for it. But yeah, I'm just trying to take off my mom hat now and put on my marketing hat.
Perfect. Well, I'll tell you what. Then I'll tell you what. I'll just start off a little bit with. First off, the title of the training here tonight for people that aren't in the team and for people who are in the team is to how to help people get more results in your team instantly, like faster, like right away. And Amy really shared it right there. It was a little over a year ago. Chris, you and I, Perig, you might have been doing. I believe you were doing the webinars with us at that point in time.
He was on that webinar. I think.
We were doing webinars like a bunch of nights in a row, and it was funny because I remember that point in time. I was wearing my bathrobe, and I literally hadn't shaved, which kind of like right now,
Big surprise.
I don't work in a kitchen anymore, so I can tell them that I don't have to shave. And believe it or not, girls in Colorado think this stuff is sexy. It's pretty cool.
Yes, they do.
So
yes, they do.
Yes, they do. All right. So I sat in front of the computer for days straight, and actually I found myself after about 3 days, I was like, wow, I haven't showered in like 4 days. I was like, what? I literally would just like crawl into the chair here because there was so much stuff going on with the first launch of Empower Network. There was so much stuff going on. There was so much excitement. It was like I couldn't pull myself away from it. I was just literally in front of my computer creating content, doing webinars, doing live trainings, talking to people, like just going crazy. And I remember looking at Adam as he was getting ready to go to like some appointment or chiropractor or something like that, and I was standing there in my Superman pajamas and my bathrobe, and I think I was eating a candy bar, and I said, man, I can't wait till we're making enough money where I can just be a lazy bastard all the time and just have money flowing in. And he started laughing, like he eyed me up and down from top to bottom. He's like, really? Like that's like and that was a year ago. That was right about the time when Amy got on one of our webinars, decided to get in with us and plug into the co-op. And that's really the powerful thing that I want to share with everyone here tonight. You see, you might be you may be a great marketer, and your team members that come in may not know anything about marketing. And what I found is why yes, they have to learn how to market, right? Yes, team members have to you have to learn how to market. You have to learn how to, whether that be blogging or video marketing or paid marketing, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. You have to learn how to do something so that you can be self-sufficient, so that you're actually offer value to the marketplace. Otherwise, people aren't going to want to join you. But you can certainly leverage something like what we have going on here with a co-op, even when you're brand new and don't have that, because we have the marketing ability to generate leads for you and your brand new team members, right? And that's the really cool thing for helping people get started. So someone comes in and they say, well, how am I going to get started right away? I want to make money quickly. I'm going to have to go through this learning curve and learn how to generate my own leads. Well, no, you don't. You don't. I mean, certainly, yes, generate your own leads. Learn how to do that. Plug in with the training and learn all this great stuff that you're going to learn when you get inside Empower Network. It's phenomenal. But the cool thing about a co-op is, like, Amy, do you just kind of want to, I mean, what did you do last year? You got in, and then what happened?
I got in. I didn't even really know what I was getting into. I faxed you a form with my credit card number on it. And and then I remember you were starting this co-op. I don't even remember exactly how can you hear me, Chris? Oh, yep. Can you hear me better now? So anyway, you announced somehow that you were doing this co-op, and it was $250 a share for the first 10 people, and I got myself a share and just trusted that that you knew more than I did, and that something was going to happen with that, and it did. And I remember it was like Thanksgiving Day or the day before Thanksgiving. I think it was those 2 days that the leads just kept coming in, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And you know, and I didn't make my money back that day, and that's one thing that I think it's really important for people to understand when you're doing, especially with paid advertising, and your people are opting in, they don't even know whose list they're opting into. Sometimes it takes, you know, a little bit of time for them to get contacted from you and know who they're, you know, dealing with, and that you're a real person that's there to support them and stuff before they're going to be ready to join. But I mean, some of those leads just joined recently. I mean, over the last year, I got, I think, 114 leads from that co-op, and I think 2 or 3 of them signed up immediately, and the rest of them have been kind of trickling in over the last year. So that was what got my business off the ground. And with the upsells and everything, you know, I made my money back pretty quick on what the co-op cost, and then in the long run I've made way more than my money back. That's
awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know, Amy, one of the exciting things, I mean, that you're paying at 114 leads for $250, you're paying about $2.30 some odd cents a lead right there.
That's pretty good.
Which is really a good number, especially for something like Empower Network that converts the way it does, and the upsells work the way they do. And the amount of money we make back on the back end, you know, the amount of money we make on the back end. For those of you that were on last week's training call, I mean, you saw me run through those numbers. Now, those aren't just, like, I didn't just make those up. I mean, I literally talked to a couple different leaders inside of Empower, and I saw what my numbers did, and and talked to different people, and that's what the numbers are roughly across the board, is what you saw last week. So bringing a few people in at the $25 level and having them automatically upgrade, I mean, they just naturally want to upgrade, and those numbers just happen across the board. Is that a guarantee? No. It's not a guarantee that 1 out of every 3 is gonna upgrade to the $100 level. It's not a guarantee that 1 out of every 6 is gonna upgrade to the $500 level and the $1,500 level. It's not a guarantee that that's gonna happen, but those are numbers across the board. So it's an average, and when you get bigger and bigger numbers, you're gonna average that out. Provided you get in and stick with it and keep moving forward. And, you know, the exciting thing, Amy, and this is not a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination either, you know, me and Chris were just talking a second ago about I ran out some test traffic. For those of you that are in the team, you know, we created a custom capture page for the solo ads that we're doing right now with a very specific headline and a very specific ad copy that I put out. And the reason that I did that is because it's different from what everyone else is seeing. You know, everyone else is seeing, you know, and not that the Empower Network capture pages don't work, because they do. I'm getting leads from them every single day. They're working like magic. It's absolutely awesome. I just wanted to test something different out. Well, this capture page is converting at 47.2% across the board on all the different traffic sources that I have. And the one that I tested out the other day, we were getting, we're looking at about $1 leads. So is that a guarantee? No. You might pay less than $1. You might pay 75 cents a lead on this co-op. You might also pay $1.50 to $2 a lead. It just depends how the numbers fall and the traffic falls and what have you. But that's what I'm seeing so far from the traffic source that we're plugging into. So I'm extremely excited with what we got going on here. And what we're going to be doing over not only this coming week here, but I've got a not a contract or anything, but I've talked to this guy. He's a really good friend of mine, and we're going to be able to push a lot of traffic through this guy. So not only that, we've got some other and Amy, me, you, and Chris and Perrig. We said we're not going too detailed into this, but we've got some Facebook co-ops going on that for the people who participate in that can get in for $22 a share. I mean, I gotta ask anyone out there who can't come up with $22 to get involved into a co-op, right? The reason we do that is because we understand, hey, some people are getting started and you know, hundreds and hundreds of dollars on traffic right away. It's like, ooh, that might scare some people, especially when they're brand new, but $22 shouldn't scare anyone. You can get in and start testing some things out. So we've got levels for all different types of people, and you can buy as few or as many shares as you want. And so the real secret here about getting your team members started the right way, what the title of this training is, what the title of this video is to do the marketing for them in the beginning, to help them get going. so that they have leads in their list that they can start to follow up with and copy and paste the emails that you send out. Invite them to hangouts like this. Invite them to the live hangouts and the calls that Dave and Dave do. Invite them to the other team stuff that we got going on, and more or less copy and paste the emails that the leaders are putting out in the team, like me and Amy and Chris and Perig and the stuff that Dave and Dave are putting out. So get your list built with the help of us, with us doing the marketing, and then copy and paste the emails to invite them to all the stuff we're inviting people to, and just start learning marketing along the way. That's really the whole thing there.
Yeah, I just have to add this, and one of the beautiful things about doing a co-op and like what happened for me, and I know I shared this last week, but it was 2 hours in or more into the call, so a lot of people might not have heard it, but when I first got in, out of those 114 leads, like 2 days later, I left my house for a couple hours with my kids, and when I came back, because I hadn't bought the $500 product yet at this time, I had 2 of those emails that said, "You have just lost a $500 commission," and I was amazed. I mean, that's what literally began my deep belief in what's possible here, because I didn't have to call those people. I didn't even know those people. They were leads from a co-op that spent $500 on a product without me doing any work at all. Unfortunately, I didn't make those commissions because I didn't own the product yet. I bought it that day. But yeah, you're welcome.
I love that story, Amy.
But the thing is, it's like, I didn't do anything. I got into a co-op and I got a bunch of leads, and some of the people, when you do get these leads, are going to buy everything. And it doesn't require any extra work on your part. When we do marketing with this platform, all we're marketing is the entry into Empower Network. We're not marketing $1,000 products and $500 products. We're marketing a $25 entry. And the upsells just happen, like Jordan said. They just kind of happen, thanks to Dave and Dave. And when people get into that back office and see what is contained in these products, and I mean, the value of these products is it's unreal when I think about what I did to learn what I know. It's taken me like 7 years of like flying around the country to events with notebooks, taking like pages and pages of notes, and then trying to come home and remember what I learned and implement it. We didn't have videos that we could pause and do, like just implement along the way. And these products they're worth so much more than they cost. And so people will get in and buy everything regardless of what you do. So I just wanted to point that out, because when, that happened to me by getting into this co-op. These people who didn't even know who I was, I didn't know who they are, they got in and they bought these products. And there's nothing worse than getting one of those emails that says you just lost a $500 commission. But that was a tipping point for me, because it really made me realize that, people are going to buy everything without me being involved in the process. And that was a new concept for me, because in the past, whenever I sold anything, it involved me having like multiple 3-way calls and manually taking the person's credit card number and entering it in myself. To have this all just happen by itself is amazing. And the fact that people could get into a co-op and get a bunch of leads and just have that happen on its own, I mean, that's literally what happened for me. So I just wanted to point that out, because I think it's important to know, like, this isn't just about getting $25 sales. Like, the upsells just will happen on their own.
Right. Yeah. Amy, I was actually driving cross country from Colorado back to Milwaukee to go home for Thanksgiving last year. I threw a turducken in the freezer. I bought a turducken. If you guys have never had a turducken, it's awesome.
Look at Chris.
They're really good. We actually ended up cooking it in January at my buddy Tom Murky's house. It was like a 25 pounds worth of meat, all deboned. Anyway, so I bought that for Thanksgiving, but I ended up, my grandma ended up in the hospital 2 days before Thanksgiving, so I hopped in a car with my friend and drove cross country, because she was actually out here and heading back there anyway. So I said, I'd love to drive cross country with you. And those commissions were rolling in from you while I was driving cross country and eating gas station turkey sandwiches on Thanksgiving. Well, I got to go home and see my grandma and see my family, and I made a ton of money eating them, so it was really cool, Chris. So Perig, man, we just started off that Facebook co-op last night, and man, you've seen some lead flow coming in here already today, man. Do you kind of want to share, just share a little bit about that, man, or just in general about what we're discussing here, man?
Sure. So yeah, co-op. Co-op, I've never really done co-op. That's an interesting thing, is that I've never, well, when I got started, I was mostly focused on free traffic or blogging and SEO and this kind of stuff. And I never really done paid strategy until fairly recently. And I never really experienced co-op. I never really tested co-op or put a co-op myself at all. I never registered to any solo ad website or anything. It's kind of silly to say, but that's you know, it's actually the case, because that wasn't what I was doing, right? So when I decided to kind of step a little bit away from SEO and go more towards paid marketing to leverage more of my time, or to leverage more of the money and spend less of my time, I started to talk to people around and see who have co-op, and Corey and Piyush have a co-op going, so I got a share of that. And you have the solo ad co-op going, so I got a share of that. And then you came up with the Facebook. So I really understand that when you do paid strategies, I don't know if you're gonna get results. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna get results. But I believe that your experience will, because I know you and because I know how you work, I know that it will work. I know that we'll do it. You'll do anything you have to do to make it work for us. And I think that's really one thing important. People that might not know you as well, or might not know me or Amy or anybody else there, that sometimes you kind of get okay, he's the expert. He's the guy who knows what he's doing, so let's just trust the guy and do what he says that I have to do. And that's what I'm doing at this point with paid marketing, because I have no clue. I mean, seriously, I have no idea. So yeah, I got those 2 shares yesterday, and then we spent a little bit of time setting up the capture pages there. And,
which is awesome.
Right. And then I went to work today, and I just came back, and I already have 3 leads in the system, or in my Aweber account. That doesn't seem much to most people, but that's close to 100 leads a month if the flow continues that way, which is pretty darn good just for one source for just starting at $20 or $40.
And the cool thing is, like, that's only, I mean, Parag, that's literally like,
it's like 12 hours.
We're not even through day 1 of that money, and I divided that money up over 6 days. So
right.
That money that you stuck in, that little bit of money you stuck in, the $40 or whatever, that's going to divide up over 6 days. I mean, you've only seen just a little bit of the traffic so far.
It's just getting started.
It is really exciting, That's one of the cool things I like about finding traffic sources that work and finding people that know what they're doing. It's like when I was able to plug in with, at first, when we first got into co-ops last year, I didn't know what I was doing. Luckily, a good friend of mine has huge traffic sources, and he said, "Hey, man, this is how I do it," and I just let him show me the ropes. And he just did all the work, and next thing I know, I mean, we got hundreds of leads flowing in on a weekly basis. And it's been absolutely awesome. So, now that I know what I'm doing, I can pass some of that, pay it forward, and pass that on to my team members and the team leaders. And not only that, but I know there's a lot of people that have already gotten in. And what I want to say to all you who are on here who haven't gotten in yet, the first $22 co-op did fill up, and we will be starting a second one. So if you go to that page that you can see on the Facebook group, you can actually start filling up the second co-op. That's entirely awesome. We're going to be getting, I'm going to continue getting lead flow. I mean, the sources that I've got are unlimited, which is awesome. And as far as the big solo ad co-op, the $105 share. There are 6 slots left at this point in time, and I've got a couple people that I know are on the line who told me they're going to be buying a share. So if you want to get in on that, definitely grab them sooner than later. These things have been flying out like hotcakes, and some people are even grabbing 5 shares at a time. So you want to get in on that, get in right away. Don't wait, don't hesitate. We're going to be starting to send the traffic probably Thursday, Friday. I gotta hammer out the details with my guy, but he said Thursday, Friday he's going to be able to start sending the traffic, and it'll probably take a few days. So really cool stuff. Chris, man, anything you want to throw in on the topic before we move on, man?
I was just going to say, how can I get into the co-op here? That's what I was, I'm hearing these numbers and I'm going, really? Like, that's insane, you know, that you don't, you know, just for those of you that don't know and don't understand, haven't been through the process of lead co-ops and conversion rates, those numbers that you're throwing out there, Jordan, those are really, really appealing. And Amy, you know, all the numbers you all are throwing out, I mean, that I'm going, where do I sign up? You know, so yeah, you know, I'm excited, and I'm really excited for the fact that you know, Jordan, you're back, you know, and we're gonna start working again, you know, and so we coerced you back, you know, me and Amy and a few others, you know, we finally just kept on working on you and finally sent, you know, a hired hitman in the middle of the night over to your place and finally said, you know, this is the deal, and don't be a wussy, right?
That's exactly what happened, man. And then I karate chopped that gun right out of his hand and said, I'm not a wussy. I'm back in.
And what I would like to say really is that you know, we really want to make this all encompassing. It's great that we have the things set up from the experts like yourself and Parig and Amy here to put these co-ops together. And I also have a site where we're going to be aggregating all of our training that's going to be able to teach people a lot of introductory things and concepts as well to get started, to get going, to generate free leads. We're going to teach them social media, all kinds of stuff like that too, on top of you being able to just throw money down and make money. So, you know, and that's in the works, and that's on the way. And so I'm excited about that, and glad to be back with you guys here. You know, it's been a while since we've all, you know, been able to talk and collaborate, and I'm totally looking forward to it, man.
Awesome, man. Well, you know, for those of you, I mean, Chris, I don't know if I gave you a proper introduction to some of the people.
Do these people know who this guy is?
For those of you that don't know who Chris is, this guy is one of the most badass SEO ninjas on the planet. I mean, he does
David Woods SEO.
He does David Woods SEO. All the top earners in Empower Network, well, not all, I should say most of the top earners in Empower Network, he does their SEO, and he's going to be helping me with some SEO too soon, which means I'm actually going to learn SEO because I don't even understand SEO. Not the way Chris gets that stuff, man.
I remember when you and I took a hike, Jordan. We were taking a hike up to Mount Falcon there on the Front Range when I took you on the hike that day.
Oh yeah.
And I was actually talking about some concepts about SEO, and you're looking at me like,
oh God,
what?
Dude.
You know, and I was like, okay, I guess I know that I get a little heady with that stuff. But you know, the state of SEO has been in such a flux for the last about 2, 3, 4 months that you've actually seen most of the people leave the industry. You've seen because essentially it weeded out when Google made all of their changes for their rankings. It took out all of the tricks, all the shortcuts, if you really want to call it a shortcut, but all the ways that you can really manipulate rankings, they threw monkey wrenches in all of those areas, and so people who were doing the old ways of doing it, it just flat out wasn't working anymore. And what I found, and the reason why I'm excited about it more now than ever, and why it's actually I see is easier to teach and show people now, is because, you know, there's less competition. There's less people trying to do all the manipulative, crazy, underhanded shortcuts that you got to be a total genius to even figure out. And a lot of that really just doesn't, you know, work really well anymore. And for some of the stuff that I have figured out recently, it's showing a lot of results. And I'm going to show all that. I'm going to reveal all of that in our team training for people to really use. You know, and it's not going to take a lot of learning. It's actually simple. So I'm really excited about that. You know, because it's one of the things even Parig was talking about, that you know, he had said that you know, I'm focusing more on paid traffic and instant traffic strategies and such like that, and that he was moving away from SEO, you know, as a main strategy. And it's like, and you guys don't understand, Parig is a badass SEO as well.
Yeah, he is.
People don't realize that, you know, and because he's not out there, you know, telling people how good he is like I do half the time, right? And so, but you know, Parig he's made an intelligent choice to go in other directions because he knew it takes a lot of energy to do that, to do SEO now. And, you know, especially through this crazy flux. Now the dust has settled and things are getting a little easier again, and at least clear. And so, you know, it's like what I'm illustrating here is the fact that that even somebody of Parik's caliber, which I look at as, you know, the top tiers of SEOs, you know, people like that have chosen to step back and not try to rank so much for stuff. So there's actually room. The playing field has been leveled in lots of ways. So I'm excited to be able to bring that to the table here with you guys and be able to use that in conjunction with social media. And I will throw this out here. Nobody knows about this yet. They're literally on one hand. People know about this until I say this right now. And this is all I'll say about it. But we are, Empower itself and me, we're going to be developing a tool that is a social media SEO combination that really works for the way SEO and social media needs to be in order for you to get instant traffic as well as search engine rankings. And we're probably, honestly, 4 months off from having that released. But you heard it here first. And we're gonna take all of the crazy complex stuff that we've figured out and distill it down into a tool that you don't have to know all of those crazy things and complex processes. It's gonna do it, and all you got to do is copy paste, yes or no, do you want to do this, yes or no, copy paste, and you just do your part that you always have had to do, which is create your content, make your blog. And so, you know, layers of promotion, all this cool stuff. And so that's all I'll say about it for now.
You know, the cool thing about that, Chris, man, I mean, you remember that walk we were on, and you actually, we were chatting, and I remember you're like, dude, you don't understand any of this stuff. How the heck are you even, because I actually could rank on Google. Like, I used to get 85% of my traffic, which was literally like 1,000+ hits a day from Google. Okay, and then I literally took I just stopped working this year for a very long period of time because I just wanted to party and have fun, and it was awesome. And thanks to awesome team members I had here at Empower, I still made a lot of money, and I was just partying my summer away and traveling a ton and doing fun stuff. But you know, the thing about that is I didn't understand SEO. I didn't understand all the stuff. I knew a little bit. Okay, I knew some keyword research, but I haven't done keyword research in about 2 years. You know, and I was just making up keywords. Like, I'd just make up long tail keywords, and before I know it, I'm getting all this traffic from Google. And so what's the key to what's the principle that you can learn right here is, oh, Amy, you got your name on there and it's in pink. That's sweet. All right. All right, she figured it out. Look at that.
Oh, I had to go to a different browser.
Okay, that's why you disappeared for a second and then popped back on. That's what I figured. So the moral of the story is that, you know, someone like me who's literally ranking for 85% of his traffic on Google and not fully understanding SEO, understanding a little bit of keyword research, I mean, I wasn't doing crazy deep backlinking or any of that mumbo jumbo stuff that Chris absolutely loves and understands and is going to simplify the heck out of for us, which I'm so excited about because I hate doing it. And I was ranking all over Google. What's the principle is I was just literally creating content almost daily, literally just cranking out content on a very regular basis and following some of the principles of what Rob Ford taught inside the 15K formula. I don't even understand half of, like, you know, I wasn't even doing half of what Rob was doing there, and I was still getting traffic not only socially but also from Google, and it's some really cool stuff. So the principle is just keep going. You know, when you're not quite there yet, just keep going. Someone wanted to say something right there.
Yeah, well, I was talking with Chris about this the other day, and what I'm excited about, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of what you were telling me about the changes that have been made with Google is that now all the manipulative stuff isn't working anymore, which means that the people that are going to be ranking on the search engines are the people that have valuable content, not the people that have manipulated backlinks and all this other stuff. It's going to be based on who has valuable content, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that's where the Empower Network gets really exciting, because that's what we're doing, is we're blogging on an authority site and we're creating valuable content. And now we don't have to compete with the super geeks out there that have all these tools that cost thousands of dollars.
Hey.
That, you know.
That was awesome.
Well, I wish I was a super geek. You know, I'm a pseudo super geek, a pseudo geek.
Look at you trying to be undercover. You know you geek out just like the rest of us.
Well, I do. Well, if I was on that hike with you guys, I probably would have understood a lot more than Jordan, right?
Maybe.
Most likely.
But anyway, I think this is exciting because even understanding as much as I understand, I still know that like there's people out there that have tools that I don't have and have knowledge that I don't have, and so it doesn't matter how good my content is if I'm trying to compete with those people. And now, I mean, is that kind of the gist, Chris, that now we're not having to compete with that as much? And
right. You know, a lot of the crazy things and techniques that we've taught that kind of has been the norm for SEO for the last 2 to 3 years has been completely taken out of the picture. And so, you know, what it really boils down to simplify it in a few concepts here, is that you know what the search engines are trying to accomplish is to bring the most relevant content to the searcher. And how they do that now is they have all these filters in place. And the only way they can tell, and they're getting better at this, whether your content is really good is how much it's liked and shared and bookmarked and Pinterest pinned and tweeted and all of these social media elements that go on, and how much traffic is actually going there on all of these social media sites, and how much buzz it's getting, how many people are resharing those types of things. And so when you have content on highly trafficked areas and highly trafficked social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, you know, Pinterest and Google Plus, which is starting to come up, it's still a ghost town for the most part in certain ways. Certain parts of it, the Hangouts are the best part, and that's going to be its staple. That'll really help it grow. But what this comes down to is they really like seeing that stuff for content, and once content gets that kind of exposure, then they know that it's passed the human litmus test, and now they will rank it higher because a lot of people have essentially linked to it or shared it, you know, and it's just like them voting for it. So that's what it's really shifted to. So in a nutshell, it really comes down to getting your content out on highly trafficked areas where there's a lot of eyeballs and a lot of views, because if you put a video up on YouTube and it gets, you know, reshares and it gets 500, 600, 700 views in the first, you know, couple weeks, you know, don't you think that Google's going to come around and see how many views shows up there and take that into consideration versus a video that has 5?
Exactly.
You know, and this same thing happens when you use like the document sharing sites and the PowerPoint sharing sites like SlideShare and things like that. They count all those views. So it really is a lot of interaction and comments now. So Jordan, here's why this really worked for you when it came down to SEO, because you were doing so much social media promotion and also doing some of, I wouldn't call it manipulation, but more of social media promotion on steroids, using things like Tribe Pro, getting, you know, people to syndicate stuff in layers, and that really helps with search engine rankings. The way something ranks quickly now is through social media. If you try to do the slower ways, you know, well, best way to put that is if something goes viral, that's the only way it's going to rank quickly. Other than that, going through the backlinking processes that you got to go through, things take a couple months now, you know, 45 to 60 to 75 days to rank in the search engines. And, you know, most SEOs were used to 7 to 10 days. We could get a ranking if we were doing something the right way. So here we would do that, and 7 to 10 days later, we're not showing up. So we try another week, and we're still not ranking, so people are just giving up. But they don't realize that it takes longer now, but that's healthy, that's okay, because it's natural. And you can spend more of your time on actually putting your content in places where there's real people and real eyeballs, which gets you actual traffic to your site, which is going to make you more money. And then you'll rank in the search engines later. But what we're going to focus on is a lot of social media promotion. And that's where it's at.
You know, I do know. You know, the beautiful thing, Chris. Like I was doing Tribe syndication manually before the automated stuff came out, and I had no clue that was. Yeah, it was crazy, dude. I mean, I've got a fan page on Facebook that's got almost 6,000 fans that I built up in a year, organically because it was a tribe, because people wanted to tribe syndicate people manually. You know, I used to take hours a day to do that. Oh my God, dude. Blech. But I don't like spending. I like free time. But the thing that I was getting at here is, I was really in the right place at the right time. You know, I didn't know it at the time that I was in the right place at the right time. And you know, have you ever had that before, where you look back and you say, man, I was really in the right place at the right time? Have you ever had that happen, where you look back at something and you say, man, I was really in the right place at the right time, and
yeah,
things
it was
just
called
happened?
Empower Network.
Yeah. This is exactly. You know, that too, man. This is even before that. I was in the right place at the right time with the owners and the creators of Tribe Pro. They actually, because I was doing tribe syndication, they came to me and said, hey, do you want to, you know, help us test this thing out? And we're making this tool called Tribe Pro and what have you. And I I had no clue that was going to rank me on Google. I had no clue how that was going to work or anything. I said, yeah, man, if I'm getting, you know, visitors to my site today with doing this all manually, if I just plug in with these guys, and so bottom line was, I surrounded myself with the right people in the right place at the right time. Like all of you here tonight, I mean, you have the ability. Chris is coming out with that next thing right there, which is freaking phenomenal. And so I was in the right place at the right time, and before I knew it, I was ranking all over Google, and I didn't understand why. And I actually went back to, you know, some of the people that did understand SEO. I said, what's going on here? I'm literally like, all of a sudden I'm ranking on Google and getting traffic in a few days. Like, I don't even understand what's going on. We kind of stumbled. I stumbled across it anyway, and then people explained to me what was going on, and then I was like, oh, well, that's all I got to do is just let this thing automatically work for me. I love it. Let's keep doing it. So, you know, those of you that are on the call tonight, you might not realize it yet, but you are in the right place. You're at the right time right now. And 4 months from now, you may look back. 6 months from now, a year from now, you may look back and say, man, that Google Hangout where they were telling me I was in the right place at the right time and I just didn't know it yet. I was in the right place at the right time. I took action. I got in. I plugged in with that team, and it's awesome. And I'm looking back at it now, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. So,
well, Jordan, that's exactly why in the Inner Circle interviews that I used to do, that was a part of my opening lines. You are in the right place at the right time, you know, because it's you're there, and so if you're there, then it is the right time for you, and that's what matters. Is you showing up.
Beautiful, man.
Well, when you think about like some of David Wood's training, when he talks about how many millions of things had to happen for you to be right here, right now, looking at this Hangout, all these different, you know, things happened, situations happened where somehow you ended up here, and there's a reason you're here, you know, and you'll either act on it or not. And that's up to you, but like for me, that's exactly what you just said, Jordan. You know, a year ago when I joined Empower Network, I didn't know what I was getting into. But when I look back a year ago and see how different my life was, I'm so grateful that I faxed you that form. I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was just like, oh. You know, I'm so glad that I did that, and you know, my life is completely different now because I did that.
I don't think any of us knew what we were doing, Amy. I mean, facts and forms. I was having people snap pictures with their iPhones. Like, I went back through some of my old text messages. I saw text messages of these forms that people were texting me so they could sign up into Empower Network before the system was in place. It was chaos. We had no clue what we were doing. I don't think anyone saw what really happened coming. The $20+ million that they've done.
You guys don't want to know.
I made a page on my website with like a 3-hour video of that hotel room meeting, and I was like driving traffic to that page. I'm like, I didn't even watch the whole thing myself. I couldn't even like sit through it, but I was like, just go watch this video and click the link and
download the form, print it up, fill it out, fax back to me at this number.
It's amazing.
So hopefully you got on camera there the part where Rob 4 walked up, handed his form to Dave Sharp, and was like, hey, I'm in, but I got to go because the chili went right through me, and I've got to drop a load right now. Right on the camera. I'm standing in the back, and I'm looking at this like, did this just happen?
That's really, and that's up on the, that's beautiful, man. Well, you know, a little bit of freedom of speech here at Empower Network. I love it, man.
And now he's one of the top earners, and he's #1 in the contest currently right now for the next event.
That's because, yeah, Rob's awesome, man. That guy's a beautiful man.
Chili.
Awesome. Hey, just to let everyone know, I'm actually seeing PayPal things on my phone here. the shares for the co-ops are running out. Chris, you've got yours saved. Don't worry, buddy.
No. Oh, okay. Because I was like jumping around there. I can't even find it on there on the.
And I just got to sign up.
Oh, beautiful, Amy. Someone clicked the link down below and signed up. That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. You guys see the
take action.
Do you see the magic that happens right here? I mean, people just feel the urge to get in because they're so excited about. I mean, there's so many people making so much money here, and you know, it's funny, Chris. I mean, aside from making the money, you know, there's phenomenal training here. I mean, I'm going through this training daily. I'm listening to like 2 or 3, 4 hours of this training every single day because it's just so good. And you know, later on in tonight's call, I'm going to teach you all one of the secrets that I've been learning about how to get people to take action without them even understanding that they're getting ready to take action. I'm going to teach you that later on, so stay on. You're going to learn that at the end. It's going to be really cool stuff.
Jedi Ninja Mind Tricks.
Jedi Ninja Mind Tricks. It's amazing how that stuff works when you just tell people to take action and they do. It's crazy, but I'm going to teach you how it works a little bit later on. But people just want to get in because they also want to make money. You know, we're in this industry not just to have a home business, not just to help people with whatever product or service it is that you have. I mean, obviously that's a goal, but the byproduct that we're all in this for is to make more money so we can have more freedom, so we can help more people have more freedom in their life as well. So, Amy, congratulations. Share a little more of your excitement. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, and I just looked. I don't recognize the name or anything. It's probably like a somewhat new lead or something. But not that I often don't recognize the name, but yeah, I don't know who it is, but yeah, it's awesome. I don't know what you want me to say about it. But
that's good enough. I wasn't really looking for anything in specific.
I normally save until when I wake up in the morning to check my commission notifications because I love to start the day already have made money before I even got out of bed.
Mm-hmm. That's good, man.
That's what I like to do.
Well, mine pop up on my screen, you know, when I'm sitting here, and I love when I see Dave and Dave in the beginning of anything. I'm like, yay, Dave and Dave spam.
Spam emails. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
That is good stuff. Very cool. Very cool. So Amy, some of the other stuff we wanted to talk about here, you know, we had discussed. You know, for those of you that are already in and are already in the team, and I mean, this doesn't matter what you're in. I mean, if you're not in yet, and that's okay if you're not in yet, and you haven't joined yet, that's entirely okay because this is going to help you no matter what business you're involved in. You know, I was talking about this on a video earlier today, and I'm not going to go into the whole details or the whole story, but you know, typically people want instant gratification, and yes, over here at Empower Network, people make money faster than I've ever seen before. Is that a guarantee? No. Does it guarantee everyone's going to make money? No. But I've never made money as fast as I've made over here in anything else that I've ever done, and I've never seen team members of mine making as much money as they've made as quickly as they've made it before. And I've never had a team member hit $10,000 a month like Amy Starr is doing. It's absolutely awesome. Is that a guarantee for what anyone will do? No. But here's what typically happens: the people that don't make money, you know, the people that are struggling, the people that aren't making money, they're focusing on the fact that they're not making money when they're not making money. They're saying, oh, this isn't working for me yet. Oh, I'm doing this blogging every day and it's not working for me yet. Oh, I'm talking to people every day and no one's signing up yet. This person said no to me. This person's negative. This person texted me on Facebook and told me to stop emailing them, or whatever the case may be. The people that are struggling are the ones that are focused on all that negative stuff, whereas the people that are having results and getting results are saying, I'm keeping going until I get to that, you know, ooh, I got my first lead, and they get excited about it. Ooh, I had my first member sign up for a free account. You guys can actually create free accounts down below before you actually have to pay the $25 to get in, and that's entirely okay too for you to create a free account and then pay $25 immediately after that. That's awesome too. You know, get excited about even a free account. If someone decide, you know, they get in and then they pull back or whatever, get excited about that. Get excited about the $25 commission that happened. And then if it doesn't happen again for a week or two, don't let that bring you down. Think back to the time when you did get that $25 commission. Think back to the time when you did get that lead. Get excited about that stuff. Get excited about all the positive stuff that happens. And trust me, you're going to attract more positive in your life. You know, I was walking down the street this morning, and I said, ooh, I was just like, ooh, I'm a money magnet. And literally like 4 seconds later, I looked down and I saw a penny. which pretty cool. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I just saw a penny like 4 seconds after.
Caliber money magnet there.
Thought I was a money magnet, and then I got back and I had a surprise check in my mailbox. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. There's a surprise check in my mailbox. I didn't even expect that thing coming. Why? Because I'm focused on I'm focused on all that stuff. Now, as you're going through now I don't know where you're at in business. I don't know where you're at in life. You may have been building for a month. You may have been building for 2 months. You may have been in for a week or a year. I don't know where you're at. I mean, I struggled dramatically for my first year, and a little bit later on, I'm going to tell you how I broke out of that struggle. I'm going to tell you how I had my massive breakthrough. I'm going to share a little bit of that with you later on, but I struggled. I was actually $15,000 in credit card debt before I made my first penny online. So the thing that gets me, and I'm kind of ranting a little bit here, but I also want you to understand that it's okay for you to be pushing as hard as you are if you are pushing really hard and to not have had made money yet. That's entirely okay, because it's going to happen provided you just keep pushing. I could have given up when I was $10,000 in debt, and my family's like, dude, you're a freaking idiot. What are you doing? You're getting another credit card? Why are you doing that? You're already living in my basement. You already don't have anything. Your car's already a piece of shit. You already don't own anything, and you're living in the basement. You don't have a college degree. You're already that far in debt, and you keep going. I could have given up any one of those moments, but I didn't. I just kept pushing because I believed that that success was going to happen. Like all the people that I had seen. And here's the thing: you see these leaders like Amy, like Chris, like Perig, like me, and like some of the other leaders in the team having success and getting results. Feed off of their energy, feed off of the fact that they're getting results, and just have faith that when you stick around long enough, when you decide to take action long enough, you too are going to get results. And it might take a little bit longer for you, and it might go a little bit faster for you, and that's entirely up to you and what you put in and all the circumstances that are going on with you and your business at that point in time. So don't give up. I mean, that's really all there is to it. Stay the course, stay long enough, and you'll get there. That was one of the big things, Amy, you and I had been discussing, and I know you got some stuff you want to share about that. I want you guys all to know, any of the leaders on here, all four of the people that you see on this call right here, on this hangout here, have had tough times before, have gone through struggle and still pushed and persisted through that struggle. That's just all there is to it.
Jordan, we love hearing you rant, dude. So we're gonna sit and listen as long as you're ranting.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm my father's son. I like talking.
Yeah, we know.
No, really?
I love it. Perig's so quiet, and then he just jumps in at the perfect moment. Really? Yeah, just let you know.
And I don't even have any beers in me right now.
The cool thing is, Jordan, and I just want to quickly preface this, is that you go through these struggles, and when you're going through them, you absolutely want to tear yourself inside out sometimes, and you wonder why you have to go through it. And oftentimes people mistake the struggle for, oh, this is a sign I shouldn't be doing it. And I look back on the struggles I've had, and I'm so thankful for them, and I would never have taken them away, because what a lot of people haven't learned going through internet marketing is that you kind of got to do it and learn it and struggle through it in order to know how it's done the right way. And once you know how to do that, then it's easy to just turn on a switch and make money. But until you have that type of knowledge, until you've placed a bunch of solo ads and haven't got any results and wondering what the heck is going on, or have been working towards, I've been posting my content on Facebook every day, and I'm putting it in groups, and why is nobody signing up yet? And there's just things along the way that you pick up, and then eventually it becomes really clear and things start happening. But it takes time for that to come together. One of the things that I heard, way back that I actually put on a blog post one time, and it's very, very true, but learning internet marketing and building a business like this, it's like a water pump. And you start pumping one of those ones, where the water comes right out of the ground, you're pumping it manually, and you're waiting, but you notice how the first 15, 20 seconds or so, you're pumping, and nothing's coming out. And what most people don't realize is that internet marketing and building your business, it's like that. And it's really like that with just about everything in life, because it's energy. And what you're doing is, what you don't see below the surface is the water's rising. The water's being pumped. It's coming to the surface, but you don't see it. And so all you see is this water coming out, or no water coming out, and you're pumping. You're doing everything I'm being told. I'm doing everything Jordan's telling me. I'm doing everything Chris is telling me. Doing everything Amy and Brigger telling me. I'm doing all these things, and I'm getting no results. There's something must be wrong with what they're telling me. And if you keep going, eventually that water comes flying out of that pump. And if you've been pumping it really, really hard, you can stop pumping, and that thing will just keep spraying out further. You try to get your mouth on it, and it's way out there, and you don't even know what to do then, and it keeps on going. See, that's what happened with you, Jordan. You know, you just put in about a 40-day stretch, and you just had money coming in.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It kept on coming, you know, but you pumped it and pumped it and pumped it. And so a lot of people, what they don't really understand is that there's like a magical thing, and it really is, as much as I can understand it, going through it a couple different times in my life with a couple different businesses, there's something, I don't want to call it mystical or magical, but I don't have any other science for it other than there's something about a 90-day blitz. There's something about doing something rhythmically and consistently every day for 90 days. And if it has anything remotely close to anything that makes sense that you've been taught to do, if you're doing that every day for 90 days, then it's like all of a sudden you're doing the same thing on day 91, and the results are coming from everywhere. And you think to yourself, where was it 60 days ago? Where was it 70 or 80 days ago? I was doing the same thing. And so when you realize that it's an energetic, and you got to develop a rhythm, and it's about putting it all out there and letting it permeate energetically. This is the best way I can explain it, but it starts happening. So most people will only try something for 30 to 60 days and they're gone. So here's what you all have to know and understand and remember. Stick with it for at least 90 and be honest with yourself that if you do it for 90 days, and we're talking about every day, and if you miss a day, okay, but get it back the next day, okay, and keep going. Don't stop. Don't let yourself, just because you got off track for a day and something happened, like a gymnastics event that went crazy, and your 4-year-old's about to be ran over and trampled by people, and maybe, okay, so maybe you missed that day. Pick it back up the next day, and that's okay, because you're still keeping the rhythm. And when you keep doing that for 90 days, it is magic. It's nothing short of magic. And you'll realize that the power of your mind, just like Jordan was talking about earlier, how he was like, I'm a money magnet. And he looks down and there's confirmation of it. There's a penny right there. And then you had a check when you came home. Well, I will tell you that that's a practiced thing, and that's an energy. And when you learn the power of focused intent, and you visualize and you put power into what you're focusing, you get better at it. And so when you focus on something 90 days from now, it's 10 times more powerful than it was the first week you focused on it. I know that every day in my life now is magical. I know that sounds crazy, but it really is. As a perfect example, I was up at Breckenridge on Saturday, and it was the Mountain Dew Tour. It was the first big snowboarding event of the year. And all of the professional snowboarders were there competing, and skiers. And I went up there for the Super Pipe event, so obviously, you know, you got some of the biggest names in the world, and especially the Michael Jordan of snowboarding, Shaun White himself. And I thought to myself, as I watched him win first place, I thought, you know, it'd just be real cool to hang out with him for a minute. Why not? And I just kind of hung around for a while after they gave the awards out and everyone was hanging around. And I just kept on standing around and smiling and talking to people and meeting people. And all of a sudden, this hand is on my shoulder. And it pulls me in, and I look over, and it's Shaun White. And he's like, hey, bro, let's take a picture. And I'm like, all right, yeah, you know. So then I pull out my phone and take a picture. It's on my Facebook. And it's gotten like 100 likes or something. It was insane, you know.
That's awesome, man.
And so I hung out with Shaun White, and I got to talk to him for a minute. You know, I was like, man, good job, dude. That was awesome. You know, you rocked it out. And he's like, thanks, dude. You know, and of course, he's in a good mood. He just won first place, you know. So he's just like happier than a hog in a trough of suey, you know. And so it's like, that's how magical life can be. Had I ever would have thought that would have happened, you know, it was just, how cool would it be to hang out with Shaun White for a minute and just get a chance to talk to him, you know? And I did, you know? So it's the power of focused intent, and the power of your mind gets stronger and stronger. But what most people don't realize is that they come up against all this initial inertia that they have to get past and keep going. Where most people fail, most people just stop and they give up. And if you can get past that and just keep going, there literally is no secret we don't show you and teach you what to do. We want you to succeed. We're not holding back anything from you. And if we're not teaching you something yet, it's because you're not at that level to understand it, because we understand the process. We've been there, and you've got to go through it too, because if we give you too much from the start, you will not understand it all. You will get overwhelmed and you will quit. So it's a trusting of the process, developing a rhythm. It's like a dance. It's a rhythm. Every day I get up, I take my my visualizations and my affirmations and the things I say to myself every day when I first get up. First thing, I say them to myself. And then before I go to bed, I say them to myself. That's every day at the same time. That's called a rhythm. Energetically, it gets easier and easier to keep yourself in that rhythm as you do that. It's developing a habit. So there's nothing really magical or mystical other than do it for 90 days and do it rhythmically and consistently every day. And what we're showing you does really work. We would not show you something that does not work. And we want you to make money, because if you make money, you're making, you know, all kinds of money, and it helps us, but you're successful too. Why would we sabotage you and tell you something that doesn't work? For you skeptics out there, why would we tell you that? Because then that's going to mean we don't continue getting paid by you, and then you don't continue getting paid, and then that means you're going to go and spread bad news and say that this stuff doesn't work and spread more negativity, and you're really only hurting yourself in the end. We're trying to help you, show you how to help yourself here. So what it really comes down to on that long rant is the power of focused intent, develop a rhythm, and stay consistent. That's it.
You know, I want to point one thing out there, Chris, about your focused intent on Shaun White and about my focused intent on money this morning. There's two key things that people might overlook. Now some people might think, so all I got to do is think about Shaun White coming and talking to me, and he's just going to magically show up and talk to me, or all I got to do is think about money, and it's just going to show up in my life. Well, there was something that I was doing that other people wouldn't have done. You know, there's a few things that happened. The first thing, I was actually looking down at the ground. And I was looking around for cars and what have you, but I also was glancing down at the ground. Now, the other thing that happened is I actually walked past that penny about 10 steps, and I said, oh, wait a minute, I just saw a penny there. It took me a little bit to register that I actually saw that penny. I walked back and I picked it up. Now, most people would have just kept walking, right? Most people would have. I remember a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was riding on my bike, and I was going about 40 miles an hour down this hill on my bike, and I saw a penny on the ground. As I'm going past 40 miles an hour, I actually stopped my bike, ended up walking back up the hill, grabbed that penny, kissed it, said I'm a money magnet, and kept on going. So why does stuff like that happen to me? Well, why did Chris see Shaun White there? Why did Shaun White come up to him? Chris actually not only was thinking about Shaun White, but you notice he said he was kind of sticking around and hanging around and waiting around for Shaun White to come around. It's because he not only had the intent, but he took the actions that were necessary for that to happen. He took the actions.
Congruent with your thoughts and your actions. An old thing that the Quakers used to say is, as you pray, move your feet. And it's the same concept here. You know, like when you're doing whatever you're thinking about, be in alignment with your actions and thoughts. They have to line up. And that's what I did.
Right. You can't.
The thing is, you just got to trust that. You do. And it gets easier. Does. Power of the mind gets powerful and more powerful the more you do this. So I wouldn't have been able to, I know I wouldn't have been able to really make that happen in the way that I did so effortlessly this time, even 6 months ago. You know, but because of constant visualization, when I think about something, there is a part of me that makes sure that I feel it all throughout my body, and I feel it in my emotions as well as my thoughts, and I'm completely in alignment with it. And at that point, I just trust and know, okay, well, I trust that the next course of action is going to be put in front of me to do based on what I'm intending. And for me, it was, well, I better stick around here because it's very possible, you know, I could meet these guys. And it wasn't just Shaun White. It was, you know, these other guys, snowboarders. Louis Vito took second place, and he came by, and I pounded him too and everything. And I mean, it's cool. So it was all of that going on. So it's a lot of people go, well, this is supposed to just work for me. You know, I hear that a lot from people is, well, I did this and it just doesn't work for me. And the shift is it works if you work it. But most people think it's supposed to do something for them, but you have to meet it full, not halfway, but all the way, and do your part as well, instead of sitting back and going, let's just see if this works. You know, I know somebody who went and paid and got 300 leads using a lead service, and they said, well, I didn't get any signups. And I said, well, have you sent any emails? Well, no. Well, sometimes it takes you following up with somebody to have them sign up. That's just a part of internet marketing. Exactly. You know, so
especially a stranger.
So especially, you know, and that's the coolest part about this whole blogging system is you know, you're blogging about who you are, and then you send that to people and be like, look, I wrote an email about what's going on in my life and who I am and how I solve my problems and issues, and you know, here's the value I can give you. Click here to read it. And so they continually see you every day, and they've developed more trust for you, especially if you're getting on video, you know, turning on your webcam and talking to somebody so they see your face. Then they're starting to build trust with you, and over time they finally, like what happened with Amy, and it happens with all of us, is that you've got these people that opt in, and 6 months later they join because they've just been following you, just kind of checking you out, sticking around, and developing trust with you. And after a while, you know, they join, and then you call them to welcome, and they're like, I feel like I know you now. It's like, well, of course, you know, that's the way it's supposed to be. And the cool thing is, which is different from just about anything else, is that when you're totally being you, your authentic you, the one you really should not be afraid to be, when you get out on video doing that, then you attract like-minded people that are on the same, I like to call it resonant field. And so it's kind of like a radio, okay, where you're tuning to different radio stations, and your mind is tuned to the same radio station as somebody else out there. And so you can broadcast on that frequency, and those people, once they come to you, they stick around. You see, some people will just go and buy leads and then just send out generic money-making tips. Well, that's not a real connection. You got to put yourself out there and be who you are. And when you're not afraid to do that, then you have resonance with people. People will see that, and there's something magical about that, where you start putting that out on social media, and all of a sudden, you know, the right people seem to pick up and find your videos and see your content, and they connect with you, and they start to feel you and know who you are, and that's when they join you. And then that takes time, but most people don't have that kind of patience. They try it once or twice and go, well, this doesn't work. Well, the water hasn't made it to the top of the water pump yet to spray out. So, you know, it's about creating resonance.
Yep.
Amy, you've been phenomenal at that over the past year with your videos and everything you're doing. I mean, you're just being you, all right? I mean, you're just putting videos out and sharing your life, your story.
Yep, that's it. And, you know, based on what Chris just said, I have to say about the water pump and all of that, you know, one thing that, and I just got a question about this from one of my team members a couple of days ago, about, you know, how come I'm doing what you say to do and I'm not getting any results yet. And the way I explained it is that, number one, this is like, if you think about what it would take, like, for you to go to college, look at this like a college course, and like what people spend to go to college for pretty much anything, especially people that get paid really well, like doctors and lawyers, and how much money they spend. What we have here is so much less expensive, and it's so much easier, and we can do it from our house on videos and stuff like that. But the other thing about this is this skill set is one of the most highly sought after professions in the world right now. Like, we're moving into the technological age, and what you're going to acquire by going through these trainings is something that is going to allow you to thrive for the rest of your life, regardless of what's happening in the economy. I mean, supposedly we're in a recession right now, but my life, I have more money than I've ever had in my life. And it's because I've taken the time to learn these skills, and they don't come instantly. I mean, it comes with just, you know, like Chris said, when you do something every day for 90 days, you become really good at it, or you become a lot better at it than you do if you do it once a week for a year. So, you know, take the time to go through these products and learn what's taught and master some of these skill sets, because not only, like I shared with a woman I had a call with last night that just joined my team. She's a single mom as well, and she doesn't want to work at Home Depot anymore. And I am committed to getting her out of Home Depot. She shouldn't be working there. But I told her, like, you know, with the skill sets that I've learned over the years, I was able to not have to go to a job anymore, because even before I had the residual income that I needed to survive, I could put an ad on Craigslist and help people with their social media or their videos or help them with a website. I mean, we learned so many different skills that people will pay top dollar for today in today's marketplace, but there are also skills that you can use to market anything at all for yourself. And so, you know, if you look at it that way, this is a lifetime worth of knowledge that you're going to have to be able to use in your life, and you can create the amount of money that you can create with this skill set is unlimited. So be patient, you know, don't be so hard on yourself, and don't expect instant results, because think of it like a college education. Think of it like, you know, you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your education so that you can turn around and use the skills that you have. And like Chris said, yeah, just be authentic. I mean, you don't have to be a master marketer to get started. And that's the other pitfall that I see a lot is people, you know, they buy the 15K per month formula, and they think that they have to go through every single video before they can do anything. And your head will explode if you do that. I mean, there's too much information in that product to think that you have to learn it all and do it all, you know, when you're done. Like, you need to implement along the way. Just try stuff, and it's not all going to work. I mean, I've lost a lot of money on marketing. I love what Jordan and I had a conversation the other day that has really stuck in my head, which I love, because I said, you know, my frustration comes from, you know, when I have people that are frustrated because they're not succeeding, and I'm like, what can I do, Jordan? What can I do to help these people anymore? Like, I don't know what else to do. And he pointed out that when he got started in marketing, it took him $15,000 worth of mistakes before he started making money. I mean, that's just the reality of it. You can't get good at it without trying it. And when you try stuff, it's not, and you said this on last week's Hangout too, Jordan, like 90% of the stuff we do isn't going to work. I mean, if everything I did worked, I'd be a millionaire easily, you know.
Everyone would be millionaires.
Yeah. You know, so it's just a matter of you got to be consistent, like Chris said, and if you do that, some of it is going to work. Some of the stuff is going to, you know, stuff will start to happen, but it's not like every little, you know. Somebody told me the other day, I have one lead. I got a lead. When are they going to sign up? I'm like, no. One lead isn't. No. That, you know, you need to be doing that every day. You know, you need to be putting leads in there every day.
Or teach that lead how you got that one lead without them knowing that they're the only lead that you got.
Exactly.
Teach them what you did to get that lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, and most people don't realize it, and no one will tell you this unless you ask somebody, but the average amount of exposures to somebody that someone needs to join them, and that's, you know, every time they see them in a video or a blog post or something, you might be shocked at this. I mean, we wouldn't be, but a lot of people would be, it's 15 to 17 times before they decide to join you on average. Now, you're going to get a couple of those that'll join right away, like 3 out of 100 or something like that. But it's like normally it takes, you know, that's why we always say the fortune is in the follow-up.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, I want to hit on the faith topic really quick, Amy, that you talked about here. I mean, when you get into something like the 15K formula, I mean, I tell you what, I'm going through there because they're redoing it right now, which is freaking unbelievable. They're not actually. It's so badass. They're not actually recharging for it. They're not actually didn't create it and say now we're going to charge $4,000 for it because blah blah blah, because it's worth it and then some. It's actually worth $15,000 a month, and then some.
It's an evergreen program. We will always continue to update that.
And that's the beautiful thing right there is that I'm going through this and I'm like, man, I'm learning some really good stuff here, and I'm doing things that I have no clue what the heck is going to happen. I'm like, oh, I'm just trying this thing out right here. I'm following what they're teaching me and saying I'm just doing this because this is what the person who's making $40,000 a month told me to do. And I don't understand how it's working or why it's working, but guess what? They told me that's what I have to do. Guess what's going to happen? I'm going to do that 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, 20 times, and then I'm going to understand why it's working. But along that process, guess what's also going to happen? Not only am I going to start to understand it better, but I'm going to generate leads. I'm going to generate sales. I'm going to have team members come in, and I'm also going to have a ton of good content out there and marketing out there from what I've learned from them by just implementing it on blind faith of saying, hey, if these people are more successful than I am, if this person like Amy who's making $10,000 or more a month is telling me that this is what I have to do and I just got to keep going and I just got to, you know what, still have faith, even if I'm 42 days into blogging and I still haven't seen a ton of leads and still haven't seen a ton of signups, that I just got to keep pushing a little bit further and all of a sudden things are just magically going to happen. If that's what they're telling me to do and just keep doing the things that they're telling me to do, by the end of that 90 days I might have a better grasp or a better understanding of how all this stuff works. 90 days into me being an internet marketer, guess what I knew? Not a whole lot. I knew a whole bunch of ways to spend money. I knew a whole bunch of ways to spend money. The cool thing about what we're doing here is that we don't have to know a whole bunch of cool ways to spend money. We actually, guess what? We actually do the marketing for you in the beginning with our co-ops. So you give us the money and we do the smart marketing for you while you get to learn the free marketing along the way. And once you have an understanding of the free marketing while we're doing the paid marketing for you, then you get to go out and do the paid marketing because now you have a good understanding of it. I mean, how cool is that? I didn't have that in place when I got in. It was, you know, I remember one time I spent $1,200. I spent $1,200 on a marketing thing because these people said, hey, guess what? When I spend $1,200 on this marketing thing, I'm getting X amount of leads and blah, 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 blah. Well, they didn't do it for me. I actually had to do it myself. So I actually did it myself, and I spent $1,200, and I got 3 leads. 3 leads. $400 leads. Not a single one of them signed up or bought anything, and that was the last of the money that I actually had. It was kind of like a really depressing moment in my life for a time period, but guess what happened? I just kept pushing. And guess what happened? Guess what happened? A few months later, I had my first sign up and made $1,200 in a single day. Mm-hmm. You know, it was pretty magical. So, you know, should I have given up when I was $14,000, $15,000 in debt and starting with free marketing at that point, all free marketing? Should I have given up? Do a lot of people think I should have, including a lot of my family members? Yeah, they thought I should have. And the people that I worked with thought I should have. And my boss was telling me I was an idiot. Well, my boss is still hating his job and hating his life because he works 90 hours a week and hates his job. And, you know, I got a funny story about my boss that I'll get into in just a little bit. I've actually got a note written down here because it's a pretty funny story. But the point is, just keep pushing. Have faith that what we're telling you to do, because we're the ones that are having success, and the people above us are having success, what they're telling us to do, we're doing on faith.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what, I want to touch on this. So when you're following up, you know, the fortune is in the follow-up, and I really, really believe that, and I teach it all the time to my team. And I usually, when someone joins my team, I usually opt into their list because I want to make sure that the emails they're sending out, their links are working, because I have a, you know, I want to make sure that their links aren't going to my capture page with my campaign code or whatever. I just like to test everything. And so I know what people are sent when people are sending emails out. And I teach my team to always send out an email every Monday to invite people to the Empower Hour call, send out an email for these hangouts, stuff like that. And the majority of my team members don't do it. And, you know, and so I just want to touch on that because the thing is, here's the thing. When you constantly email people and you're passionate about what you're doing, yes, some people are going to unsubscribe because they're getting too many emails from you. I have people unsubscribe from my list every single day. Multiple people every single day unsubscribe from my list. So the key with the follow-up is to just be completely unattached to that, because here's the thing. The people that feel like they're getting too much communication from you are going to unsubscribe, and that's okay. The people that like what you have to say, that are connecting with you, those are the people that after those 15 or 17 contacts, they're going to feel like they know you, like you, and trust you, and they're going to join you. So it's okay if people unsubscribe. It's normal. It happens all the time. But if you're not staying in touch with your leads and sharing yourself, the chances of them ever joining you are not very good. If you send out one email every month or whatever, you know, like that's what some of my team members are doing, and you know, it's not enough. It's not enough. Email marketing, especially in the Empower Network, when our capture forms don't even have a phone number field on them. You know, some of the other things that I've done online, I was calling my leads. Here we don't call our leads, which I love. We don't have to.
They actually call us.
They call us, but staying in touch with people via email marketing is a big piece of the puzzle here, and there's training on it in the 15K per month formula, but it's crucial. And so again, going back to what Chris said about being authentic, if you're being authentic and you're sharing yourself and you're blasting out emails every day, which is what I recommend, people are going to get that you're really passionate about what you're up to, which is attractive to the right people. So that's
people want to follow someone that's on fire. You know, they do.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to take long, and that's something I shared last week about creating content. When you create content that is based on something that happened in your day or in your life, it's really fast because it's already up there. It's already in your mind. So you just type so fast. And that's what I've seen with myself. When I have an idea that's based on a story or based on something I experienced, it takes me 15, 20 minutes and I'm done. When I try to write an article around SEO stuff, man, these things take forever. It takes forever to write because it has to be, you know, the right words, and it has to be all formatted a certain way.
Structure and all that.
I mean, when I write my emails, and you know, I'm guilty of not sending enough emails. I should work on that.
Yeah, you definitely should, because then you'd be passing more commissions up to me, Parag. You need to start emailing your list more, buddy.
Yeah. I can speak to this from experience because Jordan, and I don't even know if you know this, but Adam called me and prospected me for something else a long time ago, and he, your name came up, and I said, that guy's a force to be reckoned with, because I was on your list, and I was getting so many emails from you, and it was like, but I stayed that, and I ended up joining you eventually, right? And so. Because it's like I knew where Jordan was all the time, because he was like, I'm driving across country right now, I'm doing this, now I'm doing this, now I have this girlfriend, now I'm, you know, and it was like I felt like I knew him, but I was getting like 2 emails a day from him, and I'm like, wow, this guy's a serious marketer.
Jordan,
you know, he's
to be reckoned with.
He's up to something, you know, he's up to stuff. So that's the thing, and Jordan, you probably have people unsubscribe from your list all the time because.
Do you guys want to know a secret about unsubscribes? I've been wanting to share this, Amy, since you said that.
Yeah, me too. I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Dude, okay, so in Gmail, you can actually, and you know, don't worry about the whole technical side of this at all. I mean, you can probably go to YouTube and literally type in how to create a filter in Gmail, or you can go in Gmail and figure this out. You can actually take the subject line, because the subject line comes in like blah 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 blah, unsubscribe from such and such list. So you can actually create a filter for unsubscribes and have them literally just go right into your folder. You never even see them. You see, one of the things that I learned a little while back is I used to actually get those unsubscribe emails, 3, 5, 10 a day, whatever amount. I mean, and I would take it personal because someone would be like, "You're an asshole. You know, you're a scammer. You know, I mean, I've actually, like, there's a friend of mine who's a phenomenal marketer, you know, and he's a little overweight, and someone actually wrote him a nasty long email about how overweight he is. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, you took that much time to tell someone? I mean, he was graphic. I'm not going to go into it here tonight, but the bottom line is that we could take all those things personally, or we could realize that people are idiots, and they're jealous of what you're doing that they're not doing. They're jealous of the fact that you have ambition in life, that you have ambition. I mean, you're literally here on this live Google Hangout right now to learn how to create more success in your life and how to achieve what you want to achieve in life, and not deal with all that other bullshit that you have to deal with, that other people have to deal with, that they're sick of. They're literally sick of it. You know, I talked to a guy the other day who commutes 4 hours a day to and from work. 4 hours a day he spends in his car. I said, man, that's insane. I don't think I've worked 4 hours in a day up until, you know, this past couple weeks here, because I'm really excited right now about everything's going on. I'm working more than 4 hours, but you know, the point is, you can take all that stuff personally, or you can say, well, that person's at whatever point in their life, and so what I've actually done is, rather than reading those emails, I actually just filter them right into a folder that I never even get to see them. I literally never see them, and it's very awesome, because I don't even know who's unsubscribing from my list whenever they are, whatever emails they send me, what messages they say, whatever BS they say, or what names they want to call me, or what have you. It doesn't even enter my mind. Positive stuff comes in. I see leads coming in, not going out, and I don't even care.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And like you said, the more successful you become, there's haters. There just are. I don't know why these people have too much time on their hands to go hating people that are successful, but it exists. And so the more of a presence you have, the more people are going to be nasty about stuff. And you do have to develop a thick skin. And just know, every time you get an insult, it means you're becoming more and more successful.
I had a lady call the cops on me 2 weeks ago. Or maybe even longer than that. And I'm not going to go into all the details here tonight, but I a couple weeks ago, Chris, that was the second video I shot today, man. I actually shot it with my iPhone right here and literally uploaded it with my iPhone. Easy. You don't need to be a tech genius. But she called the cops on me, and I literally thought that the feds were going to break in through my front door at one point of my day, because I had no clue what was going on, and it was just insane, insane, because she got into a business that wasn't even associated with, I wasn't even, in no way did I make money off of her or anything, and she decided that she didn't like the fact that we talked about making money. And I mean, why else do we start business? To make money, to help other people make money so they can have more freedom in their life. Now, it's not all about the money, it's about the freedom. But it is, at the one point, it is about the money so that we can get that freedom, so we can have that time freedom, so we can do what we want with our life, and all that good stuff. And the bottom line is, some people out there are literally, they're jealous and they're crazy, and you never know where they're at in your life, and so don't take any of that stuff personally. When I found out what the real reason was, why I thought the feds were chasing me down, I started laughing, and I was over it, But for 9 hours of my life, I thought I was going to have to move to Costa Rica and beg David Wood to camp out in his backyard,
That's not why Dave moved to Costa Rica, for the record.
I know that, but I thought I was coming to Dave's porch like, dude, the feds are after me. I need to chill out for a minute.
Oh, wow, God. That's what happens. People are at where they're at, and what I learned a long time ago is you can't take things personal. And that's the biggest thing, is when you get over worrying about what people think about you, you free up so much energy. I look back at the times when I was worried about what people thought about me. I put more energy into just the worrying itself. That it was most of my energy at times in my life when I was younger, and when I just let that go, it freed up all this energy to be able to focus and be positive. But if you're in the middle of judging somebody because you don't like what they have, and you feel like you've got to one up them or be better than them from your judgment, and send them an email and tell them how bad of a person they are, or even find any faults you can. I mean, no normal grown-up human being, adult, does that, And so if you get that from people, then realize that they're at where they're at. Don't take it personal. And that they're not ready for this, and the last thing you want to do is try to respond back and say, hey, I am good, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me, what the heck, who are you to say this? And then start trying to point out things to those people, and try to don't go there, don't get caught up in that, because that's an energetic that puts you in a loop of negativity, and negativity drains your energy. It doesn't coalesce your energy, and you need to coalesce your energy into something that solidifies and that you can make tangible, that creates results for you. So yeah, as you were gone there, Jordan, I was just simply stating, just really not to get caught up in that energy when people try to offend you and hate on you.
Yeah. And listen to the Inner Circle audios every day. Like, literally, they put a new one up there every week. Listen to that for 7 days straight. Like, I listen to it while I'm writing my blog post, or while I'm cooking food, or doing whatever. I listen to the Inner Circle audio. I actually have the one that's in there with the interviews with Aaron Rashkin, Tracy Walker, Justin Berengia, and Tony Rush, interviewing them all. I've listened to that like 6 times already. It's amazing.
Those ones are, especially with Tony Rush. But just so you know, I'm about to upload an interview I did with Aaron Rashkin and Sophia, Aaron and Sophia, and Justin and Dee Berengia.
When they were in town?
When they were in town. So
sick, man.
It's been a little delayed on what was going on there, but it's going to be uploaded here soon, and that is a badass interview. That is a cool panel we had going on there that night. So,
can we talk about that for a second? Can we talk about the 8 core commitments?
Absolutely.
Because I know we touched on this last week too, but again, as far as people that aren't having the results that they want, I think the first question I ask now when somebody is saying I'm having trouble, or this isn't working, or that isn't working, or why am I not making money, I say, are you doing the 8 core commitments? Because if you're not, then you're not doing what it takes to make this business work. And listening to those Inner Circle audios every day is one of the 8 core commitments. And those audios are incredible. I mean, there's like these guys just said, there's interviews in there with some of the top leaders in Empower Network, and not only will you get really good training from some of these, but you will learn, I mean, it's just really, really good mindset stuff, belief building stuff, just hearing some of these people's stories and how they got started or where they came from. I mean, it's life-changing stuff. And like Jordan said, I've listened to some of them 10 times. You know, and I always have my iPod with me. Like when I was at the last event, I was working out in the gym before I went into the event in the morning, and I listened to the John Wells interview for like the 10th time. And every time I listen to something, again, I get something that I didn't get the other 9 times I listened to it, because there's so much information in these audios. I mean, it's so, and then I walked into the event and there was John Wells, and I was like, hey, I just listened to your audio for the 10th time.
You guys are going to have to teach me how to get them things onto my iPhone. I have no clue how to get audio. I don't know how to do that.
Okay, I'll teach you how to do it, because that's the thing. Like, I listen to him at the gym. I listen to him when when I mow my lawn. When I turn on my lawnmower, I crank the thing as loud as it goes, and I put on my headphones and I mow the lawn. I mean, it's great, because that's why that thing was created, was so that people could multitask. I mean, nobody wants to sit in front of their computer for 2 hours a day listening to an audio, right?
No.
And if you're sitting in front of your computer checking emails, listening to the audio, you're not going to absorb it as well as if you're running on a treadmill or cooking or doing something that doesn't involve your brain as much. And so that's why they were created. So it's a really easy way to download some powerful mindset stuff and like brainwash yourself in a good way over time. I mean, I really believe that product has made more of a difference for me than any marketing training that I've got. I mean, the marketing training is incredible, and the 15K per month formula, don't get me wrong, but without that stuff in the inner circle, none of that matters. You know, like in the inner circle, I learned that making money doesn't have to be hard. And now I actually believe that. And it's because it's from listening to those audios that I was able to adopt that philosophy. And so I just know that there's people that are not doing those 8 core commitments, and every one of them is important. There's not like, oh, well, I'll just do 9 of them. Because if you're just, or 9 of them.
You do 9 of them, you're good.
I'm thinking 10. No, but like I'll just do 7 of them.
Where's these secret core commitments, Amy? I'd like to know where you're keeping these secrets at. That's why you're doing so well.
If you're doing 7 out of the 8, you're not getting what you need. Like it's all 8 of them are important. Like, oh, I don't need to attend the events. Yes, you do. You know, the events, like Chris Record said on the call last night, big decisions happen at big events. And as far as the 15K per month formula, he said something else last night. Like you'll get things on the inside that you can never get from the outside.
Exactly.
And that goes for all of these products. And so, you know, there's so much. Those 8 core commitments weren't just like put out there for the hell of it, you know, like there's a lot of thought that went into those, and Chris knows he was, you know, he helped start this company up and he helped put all this stuff in place. But if you're not even willing to do the 8 core commitments, you know, David Wood says, you know, if you're not willing to come to the events, I'm not willing to work with you. And I was telling Jordan, like, I don't like to be that harsh with people. It's just not my style. But at the same time, I can't really do anything for you if you're not willing to do it yourself. And another thing that Chris said on the call last night that I loved was, like, if you're not all in because you don't have the money, it has nothing to do with the money. It's the commitment. Like, people that want to commit and be all in, it's a mindset. They'll come up with the money. The money is secondary. And the same goes for, if you want to get to an event, there's people that, you know, I've heard stories of people coming to the events and sleeping in the hotel lobby, or going back to the airport and sleeping at night, or, you know, because they couldn't afford a room. But they came and they got the result, and then the next time they came to the event, they had the money to stay in a room, you know. But whatever, you know, it's just a matter of doing what it takes. And those 8 core commitments are the foundation of that. And nobody here, none of us and nobody else is going to be able to help you if you're not willing to invest at least that in yourself.
You know, I want you guys to imagine really quick, what do you think would happen if you actually were able to sit down and shoot a video with Amy at the live event? I mean, what do you think would happen if you got Amy in a video with you and you could interview her for 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever? Do you think that people who were looking at you would say, wow, that person's serious. They got to that live event, and not only that, they got to glean some of these nuggets of information off of Amy Starr Allen, and they're sharing it with me personally, your videos are going to go through the roof when you can actually get to a live event like that. And aside from that, what is going to happen when, I mean, how many of you have actually met Amy in person before, or Perig in person, or Chris in person, or me in person that are on our teams here? Have met us in person. That's the beauty of the internet, is we don't have to sit down at a coffee shop and get to know one another and, you know, rub each other's back before they're going to join us in business. We don't have to do any of that. People just want to join because this program's so freaking awesome. People just want to get in. How cool is it, though, when you can actually go and meet people in person live and realize, and here's the key thing you're going to realize, I'm not perfect. Chris is not perfect. Perig's not perfect. Amy's not perfect. And you'll be able to pull all of these leaders off of that pedestal you have them on and say, wow, they're human. If I were to go up to them and cut them, which I wouldn't recommend doing because they might punch you in the face, you'll realize that they bleed, you know, and that they're human beings as well, and that if they can do it, you can do it too. And that's the beautiful thing.
It's funny you mention this. Yeah, it's funny you mention this because a lot of people say go to the event to see those leaders, to pick their brain, to see what they're doing. But every time I go to an event, the strongest feeling I have is, really, that dude, this person can do it?
You know, this is a perfect example.
Come on. Right? Come on.
I mean, come on, really. How do you make a pile ton of money like Jordan does, and you don't even know how to upload MP3s to your iPhone?
Right. It doesn't register with me.
Yeah, but you can even, you know, at events, it's great because we eat meals together. You know, there's a lot of networking that happens outside of the main room.
Oh, yeah.
And like at the last event, we shot intention videos, my whole team. I did edification videos for every single person on my team that wanted one. You know, there's just so much that you can do that you can't do from a distance, not to mention all the great training we get at these events and how over the top they are and all that.
I love the events. I absolutely love them. I love hanging out there. Anybody that wants to talk, I talk to them and hang out with them, and we shoot videos and take pictures, and it's the funnest time for me. I so look forward to it. When we were talking about how, you know, the frequency, when we were putting Empower Network together, we were talking about the frequency of live events, and I was really pushing for every quarter. I was like, and Sharp was kind of like, is that too much? And I'm like, heck no. You got to understand, there's certain types of people that we need to be connected to these people. That's what this is about. If we're going to empower them, which is the intention, which is why we called it Empower Network, then let's get around them every 3 months, because every 3 months, every quarter, that's the 90-day stretch, and we can keep that rhythm going with people. You know, once again, it's back to that 90 days. Something about that. You know, these 8 core commitments are not complex. They're simple. You know, they're not complex at all. They're very simple and designed to be that way. You know, but case in point, iPhone, not knowing how to put an MP3 into an iPhone. If somebody can do it, then it's not that hard. You know, you don't have to be tech savvy to know how to do this stuff. Case in point, once again. I'll stop now.
Right. No, it's beautiful, man. I mean, I look at some of the stuff I've done over time, and people are like, I mean, if I told you guys how I used to create websites, you'd probably, I mean, oh my God, it was like, I didn't know what an FTP client was. I actually used to upload my images individually through my WordPress and like piece the sites together. It was crazy. It used to take me 5 hours to put together a website that now takes me like 4 minutes. Why? Because I didn't know what I was doing. But it was sheer persistence, right? It was just sheer persistence. And my website's pictures didn't look right. And I actually got on the phone with HostGator. I'm like, why is my website looking goofy? Well, the beautiful thing is you guys don't even have to know how to put together websites. The website you're on right now, guess who put that together? Me. And I actually stole Perig's code, and now I just copy and paste it. And you don't have to know how to put together the sites. You don't have to know how to put together the websites in Empower Network. You don't even have to know how to put a blog together. The second you get in, you've got a kick-ass blog that's rocking for you, and things are going forward. I want to touch really quick back on events, though, on a few different things. I mean, first off, here, you know, some of you might be saying, you know what, I don't have the money to get to the event. But before I get into how you can get the money, because trust me, you can get the money, and before I get into that, I want to share with you why Empower events are just so dang awesome, is because, well, here's one thing you see at a lot of live events. You go to a live event that you pay hundreds of dollars for, and you invest to go there, and all this stuff happens, and then you get there, and there's 15 people on stage selling you 15 different products about 15 different courses, that by the time you get home, you say, now I've got $12,000 worth of stuff that I just bought, and it's all pointing me in different directions, and I don't go through any of it, and I just literally spent a ton of money, and I'm confused now. By the time I get to the next event, same thing happened. I bought all of this stuff because they're selling me all these different things, and you know what? That's awesome, because a lot of what those leaders are selling is phenomenal training, and when you buy it and you commit to it and you go through it, it's actually awesome because you're learning some really good stuff, but that's not typically what happens. Well, at the Empower event, you go there, you learn, and they're not selling you. Not the speakers that get up are just teaching you. They're just training you. They're just coaching you. They're just telling you what they've done to become more successful in Empower Network and in their business. And I think that's absolutely, you know, it's unseen in the industry. It's something that's not been done before because I don't know why. You know, this is just absolutely brilliant. I love it. It's absolutely amazing.
Yep.
I know why.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was time for it. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I met Chris at an event, right, Chris?
Yep.
And we say, you know, we talk on the phone now. Like, we have a great relationship. He's my geek buddy that we geek out. I think last time we talked on the phone, it was like a 3-hour conversation.
I think so.
But you know, we met at an event, and some of the people that I'm super, like Tracy Walker and Nicole Cooper are good friends of mine. I met them at an event, and you know, I ended up doing some stuff with them, and you know, like, just, you never know what's going to happen when you go to events, who you're going to meet, what you're going to learn, and you know, and not to mention, it's just like Jordan just talked about, at these events, it's pure training. It's not, I'm going to give you a little bit and then you have to buy the rest. It's, here's what's working for people, and this is what they're doing. And the nice thing about Empower Network is it's really not that, there's not that much to it. But it's great to hear different people's perspectives, you know, when they bring the different leaders up on the stage, or, you know, at the last event when they brought the corporate staff up on the stage and you got to see kind of behind the scenes what's going on behind the scenes. It's powerful, powerful stuff. And their events are just over the top. They spend, I forget what David said, like, what, $250,000 or something on the events, or $400,000 or something crazy.
You don't wanna know.
Yeah.
You don't wanna know.
They're, I mean, again, they're put on by the Super Bowl people. They're over the top, first class all the way. Everything's first class about them. They have a massage therapist backstage. They have, you know, it's just, they're just over the top. Everything they do is over the top.
And you know, they're dipping
They have a
into their own
chef.
pockets for that. You know, that's not, you know, there's company money coming from the affiliate fees and everything, but you know, there's so much money spent on these things to make it what it is, coming out of their pockets and everything as well. So
I just posted a video on my site a couple days ago. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the video footage from the event that just happened down in Florida with the leaders, and it's just amazing. Like, hearing Tracy was talking about how, like, they all got flown there first class. Then they, you know, they put them up. They paid the way for the top 25 leaders. They put them up at a really nice hotel. They had the staff go out, get a grocery list from each person, because they had a refrigerator in their room, and they could just tell them what they wanted. They didn't have to go to the store themselves. I mean, like, just everything about it was just, you know, just really taking care of people. And that's what they do. That's what these guys do. That's what they're committed to. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. I mean, I've been a leader in a company. I was sent on a cruise and stuff like that, but I wasn't flying first class and all that, you know.
Jordan, you thought these other companies took care of you. Wait till you see what this is about.
Yeah, it's amazing what these guys do. It's absolutely amazing.
Well, you know, knowing David Wood and how much of the, you know, the minutia of everyday life he doesn't like to do. He's like, magic, I go back to my sink and my dishes, like, it was full yesterday and now it's clean and they're put away, and then my fridge, it's all of a sudden my fridge is full of food. Like, how did that happen? I looked in there a minute ago and there was nothing to make a sandwich, and then I looked in there 5 minutes later and there's all this food in there. Like, how did that happen? Well, you know what? That happens when you have money. You know, that's,
he brings his chef to the events with him.
He took his chef with him to the event.
Yep, I remember.
Flew her up.
Hysterical. Yeah.
That's amazing.
But yeah, they're awesome.
That's amazing.
So, and the only way that you can really see that for yourself is to come to the event. I mean, I had somebody with me at the last event. She was my roommate, and she's somebody that I've worked with in other things. And she was, just the minute we walked into the Hilton Bayside in San Diego, she was like, this is not like our conventions.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not. It's different. It's just, it's completely first class. Everything about it is first class.
And we don't even know where we're going to put all these people because we're getting real close to the maximum of that room, and we're thinking of a satellite room with big screens in there even because there's so much happening. It's growing so fast. We have no idea what we're going to do for the one in April because it's just...
Ooh, do you have the dates on that, Chris?
Nope.
Please.
We don't have the dates yet because we don't have a venue because we can't find anything big enough. We're thinking we're gonna have to probably get like the
Pepsi Center.
Yeah, something like that. You know what? I am gonna push so hard for them to come to Denver.
Yeah.
For the April event.
Pepsi Center.
One of the reasons is because I'm just going to do everything I can. Mark my words. If it's at the Pepsi Center or if it's in Denver somewhere, it's just know that we did everything we could to pull it out. I'm going to really push for it.
Especially you should do the summer one at Red Rocks.
Especially since Especially since the what we're going to be launching there is the social media SEO tool that we're going to be putting together that I'm working with Dave on, and so I'm going to be like, look, guys. We got to come out. We got to come out and do it in Denver. Bring them to the Mile High. Bring them to the Mile High.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
But we've got. We're gonna have to. This thing. Remember, before we started this, we were like, we'll eventually be in stadiums one day, and it's coming a lot quicker than we thought. And we've never seen anything like this on any type of scale in internet marketing. This is unprecedented in every way.
It's growing. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
I think we just passed 74,000 people in the system.
And I just did a post the other day too. There was last time I checked, there were 724 people on the leaderboard. That's crazy.
Every time we have a call every week, it's like I don't even want to ask anymore because it's like 10,000 more, 15,000 more every week is a different number. So
yeah.
It's not even fair to compare, guys. It's a paradigm shift. It's a complete shift from everything that has ever been there, and that was the intention from the start. To make sure that it was time for it. That's why we did it. That's why we're doing it. And it's just the beginning. Just the beginning.
Awesome, man. Chris, one of the notes that I wrote down here, I bolded all this stuff up here. One of the notes that I wrote down here, because I was thinking about this just a little bit ago. My boss that I told you about, the one that hates his job, and he actually texted me like maybe 5 months ago. Somehow he texted me and he was asking me for like some recipe for something that I was like, dude, I have no clue what, like, I don't remember that, like, whatever. And he's like, yeah, how's life going? I'm like, oh, it's great, man. I mean, I've been traveling, like going on 1 or 2 vacations a month and like living life. What's going on with you? He's like, oh, I hate my life. I'm like, oh, geez, okay. So the funny thing was, I mean, there was a point back, and this was back when I still had a job, and maybe some of you that are watching this, I don't know if you're live or whatever, maybe some of you, you still have a job. Maybe you haven't even decided to get in yet and start a business and really come on board with us here in Empower Network, and you can do that again. Click that button down below. You'll get started with the person who invited you here because it's about building the team and all that good stuff. And, this was after I was in business for a little while, and I was having some results here and there, and I hadn't really had my breakthrough moment yet. You know why? Because I just, this is something Aaron Rashkin said the other night. He said this guy walks up to a farmhouse. He's driving cross country, and he goes up to this farmhouse, talk to this farmer there, and he sees this dog sitting on the porch, literally just like howling in pain. And he says to the farmer, he says, what's going on with your dog? And the farmer says, oh, well, these dog's sitting on a nail. And then the guy says, well, why didn't he just get off the nail? And then the farmer said, well, maybe the pain's just not bad enough yet, And that's kind of where I was at in my life at that point in time. The pain just wasn't bad enough because I was living in my dad's basement. I was broke as a joke at that point in time. I literally didn't have money. I was making, about $800 to $900 a month at my job, and I was, not doing all that phenomenal in business at that point in time. And things just weren't bad enough for me, which is crazy because I look at that. I mean, $800-900 a month. I don't even know what I don't even know where I would begin with that kind of money. But I was there at one point, and that's okay because I had to be there. The pain just wasn't bad enough yet for me to actually break through and decide that I was going to do whatever it took to make things happen. And I remember going into my boss one day. And I said, I've been working for you guys for, I don't know, about 15, 16 months now. I think it was like 17 months at that point in time. And I said, when I first started here, you guys hired me at $9 an hour. You guys hired me at $9 an hour. And I think I actually started at like $8 an hour because they said, well, you're brand new and we got to see how you are before we give you a raise. And they said they'd be giving me a raise inside of a month or so, which they didn't do. It actually took like 6 months to get a raise. And they said they were hiring me for like a prep cook position, which was very minimal work. There wasn't a lot done. But what happened was over that course of 17 months, they realized that, hey, this guy's been a chef for 7 years. He actually used to own restaurants with his parents. He knows how to run kitchens. So we're going to make him do all of this different work. Like he's like the sous chef, but we're still going to pay him the $8 or $9 an hour, and we're not going to pay him what he's really worth. And so one day I walked in, I said, man, you know, I was trying to sit down with my boss for literally 2 months. It took me 2 months to pin them down to having a 10-minute meeting where I could say, I want a raise. Because every time I talked to him, I said, we need to sit down. And we just, like, it got forgotten about, and I left, and whatever happened. And so this day I'm sitting down with him. I said, I want a raise. And I don't just want, you know, your 50-cent raise or whatever. I want a $2.50 raise, and here's why. Because I'm doing all of this work, blah, 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 blah. And they said, Jordan, we've never given anyone a $2.50 raise, and that would be literally like that'd be like a 35 or 40% raise off of what you're already making. You know, we've never done that before. I said, well, you're going to do it now. And they said, well, quite honestly, you're not worth it. That was the moment, literally the moment that changed everything for me. I looked at him, I said, okay, well, here's the deal. I can no longer work weekends. I'm working 2 days a week, and it's going to be weekdays. And that's starting immediately, effectively right now. And it was about a month later, I walked in, I said, you guys are fired. I quit my job. I'm working full-time from home because I just had my very first $5,000 month, right? Well, what happened? What happened? It was a shift in the pain was bad enough finally, right? The pain was bad enough, and maybe you're not there yet. Maybe the pain's not bad enough yet. And you know what the thing is? It doesn't even have to get bad enough for you to actually decide to take massive action and push to achieve whatever it is you want in life. The pain does not have to get bad enough. For me, it did, but for you, it doesn't have to. You know, not everyone has to be one of the zero to hero stories. Not everyone has to have that. You could decide right now that you're just going to start doing the things that they're teaching you here at Empower Network, that you're going to get in, you're going to commit to those 8 core commitments that Amy was talking about a second ago, and you're just going to do them all the time, and every single day you're going to do that stuff, and you can just take that consistent action, and you too could, quit your job, walk into your boss, and actually fire your boss just like I did, because guess what? You know what? I wasn't good enough. And I promise you that you're not getting paid what you're worth no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're working. You're not getting paid what you're worth. It doesn't matter if you're working for family, friends, someone who, maybe you're making 20, 30, 40 bucks an hour. I promise you, if you're making 40 bucks an hour, you're worth more than that. If you're making 50 bucks an hour, you're worth more than that. And the cool thing about Empower Network is you get to decide how much you're worth. You get to decide that, like Amy wants to make way more than $10,000 a month, and she wants to only work a few hours a day. How cool is that? I think it's absolutely amazing. So the bottom line is just decide to get in, decide to get started with us, decide to move forward with us, and don't wait till the pain gets bad enough. Maybe the little bit of pain that you got in your life right now is bad enough. Just push on.
Yep.
It's well said.
Got nothing else to say.
Yeah, well said right there. That's it.
Perfect.
I just got a shirt made. It's on its way to me right now. It says, make it happen.
Nice.
Because I feel like just, you guys were talking about this earlier about not just having the intention, but doing the action. I mean, we can create whatever we want in our lives. So what do you want to make happen? And, and here we have a vehicle that can pretty much allow us to have all of it, not just financial freedom, but time freedom in ways that I've never even seen before. So anyway, make it happen.
Absolutely. Some of you that are on the line here, and we still got like literally a ton of people on the line here. Some of you that are on here right now, you might even be wondering what the heck is Empower Network, because they've heard us saying all this stuff. It's a great way to make money. They do the selling for you. They've got all the videos in place, and there's actually down below that button that says click here or whatever. What does it say?
Register.
It says register to start earning 100% commissions. Yeah, that cool button. I mean, 100% commissions are crazy. They're awesome. I love them. Right below that, there's a link that you can actually click on where you get to go watch a video and actually learn what Empower Network's about. If you're the type of person that wants to learn a little bit more before you get in, that's okay. You can go watch that video. It's really cool. And you can actually, even if you've already seen it before, I've actually watched that video like 15, 20 times. Why? Because David Wood in that video is the beginning cause for $20 million of sales over the past year. do you think you might learn a thing or two from watching that video? Do you think you might get better at selling if you just kind of watch that video and listen to it over and over and over again, and ingrain what he says and how he says it, and his speech patterns and the words he uses? If you actually, Rob Four actually does something really crazy. Rob Four actually takes David Wood's videos or audios that he does, and he has someone. Oh God, I forget exactly what he does, and Chris, you might know this better than me.
Transcribe.
Transcribes every single video.
And then what does he do with that? I mean, does he just read it or rewrite it, or what happens next? Just reads it.
Yeah, he just reads it.
Well, in the 15K per month formula redo that's happening right now, David Wood actually teaches. He tells you to go watch his sales videos, like watch the sales video, because you'll see that he teaches what he's doing, and then he tells you go watch the sales video to see how I do it, because he teaches you all that really cool stuff about, what does he call it, pacing and all that stuff that he teaches. And then you can go watch the sales video to see exactly what he's talking about. And he's made $20 million with that video. It's amazing.
And then you're like, damn, that's how he got me.
But he teaches you how to.
And that's how you're going to get others.
Well, that's the thing. I said last week, I thought I knew a lot about videos until I saw that training. I was like, I didn't know any of that stuff. That is amazing. It's amazing, what we're handed here. And again, because that product is being created live in front of our eyes right now, if you get it right now, you can actually get on these trainings live and have them before everybody else on the internet and have an edge, just be really on the cutting edge before anybody else gets their hands on this product. You're going to get to see it live. Start implementing this stuff.
You're right, yeah, and that's it, and that's very key too, is timing. Parig, you touched on something there a second ago. You said, I really like, and I'm glad that the video sold me. I'm glad that he did what he did in the video. And it's very true, because some people who might have an issue around being, feeling like they have been in some way manipulated. Let me just clarify, because me and Dave have spent countless nights talking about this stuff, about influence and how to hypnotize the person that you're selling to, and how to hypnotically suggest things and keeping the person's attention. But make no mistake about it, we've had many talks about how that relates to integrity and what's really going on there. And what a lot of people have to understand is that all of these things are designed to keep your attention and be able to press on the triggers that help you make a decision. Now, a lot of people think that somehow they can be hypnotized into buying something they don't want. And that is absolutely not the case, and that is actually impossible to do. So for people thinking that this is some kind of a deal where you magically get hypnotized and you're being sold against your will, that's actually impossible to do. And it's just that, it's kind of like it's not the greatest example, but if you have children, a certain way to talk to them, to influence them, and that when they're really, really hyper, how to talk in a lower tone, pacing a little slower with a deeper voice that calms them down. Or when you want to excite them, to motivate them to go clean their room, how to talk in a different tone and say things in a different way, and project pictures onto them, and pictures of what would happen when they did clean their room.
Cookies.
It's learning how to influence. And see, that's what Dave has mastered, is how to influence and keep your attention. And if you're not the type of person that you're just really not ready for something like Empower, then all of that stuff isn't going to work. So the good news is that you've got the best guy in the world to sell for you, that's going to give you every chance in the world that if that person is a real prospect to be a part of Empower and be a part of the blogging system and learn all of this, that Dave is going to get through to them where you might not know how to yet. And that's what it really comes down to. Which is why, the funny thing is, we had David Sharp come out to Denver about, probably a month ago or so, and we went to a Denver Broncos game. We actually went in a skybox. Those things are like 10 grand a game, but we were hanging out in the skybox, and we actually brought out our human resources director and our director of operations, Scott Anthony, our HR guy, and Jerry, our director of operations. and we all just got to mastermind and talk for a while about everything, and we went to dinner afterwards, and I was asking Sharp about a lot of this, and about just what are the hang-ups that you see with people? What are the hang-ups that you still get to this day that we haven't seemed to that we still have to somehow not overcome, but it seems to be the challenges or the obstacles? And it's funny. It comes down to the ego. As funny as it sounds, it's people with a chip on their shoulder. They'll ask somebody why they're not in Empower if they're an internet marketer and they know about it and they might be in other systems. And because Sharp and Dave, Wood, both of them have approached other leaders and been like, how come you didn't take us up on, Empower when we started, and how come you're not in yet? It's been a while. And, they're like, well, I'm really all about branding myself, and I want to be the branded leader. And, I think it'd be going backwards to really promote somebody else. And then you get these second tier people who have created some results that are starting to figure out internet marketing, and they think they have to be branded. And they say, and they've told other people, and they've told me, why would you ever promote, David Wood? Why would you ever go and promote somebody else and make them money? And it's like, hello, have you even looked at the compensation plan? You keep all the money. Are you kidding me? And it really comes down to getting over yourself and realizing that, you're a business owner here. It's not about the ego and being the greatest. It's about creating an income. And
he's making us money.
That's exactly right. And that was the intention from the start, was to help everybody make Empower Network, to empower you to make money. I mean, that's why we did it. There was nothing like that out on the internet, period. And so we set out to solve that issue. And so people take it the wrong way because their egos get in the way and they start judging, and all of the things, when you get the haters that get jealous and they start saying all these things like, oh, you don't want to do that because you want to brand yourself and you want to be seen as the leader and you want to be seen as the one that has all of it together and has the control of everybody. And the funny thing is, I watched Dave go through a transformation. He's been one of my best friends since we were kids, and we've struggled through a lot, and we've built companies we've built teams in other companies before, even up in little Fairbanks, Alaska, and like weekly meetings, the old school way, what we like to call old school. And I've seen a major transformation in him, but the thing that always got to me and what I realized is that he never really cared what people thought. He just kept on going, and he never got energetically caught up in people hating on him or thinking he was different or thinking he was weird or any of that. And he came out on top, and he just blew right past everybody else, just exploded onto the scene and blew right past everybody else. And I really believe that it was because the least ego that you're going to find is in David Wood. I mean, he really just wants to make everyone better around him, genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we have here. I'm not gonna talk about other systems, and why I don't talk about other systems is simply because they don't compare. There's nothing wrong with them. We're a different deal altogether, and it comes down to the egos. And so what you got to do is leave your ego at the door and know and trust that if you're a business owner, you use what works, and it's proven. David Wood and David Sharp, their copy and how they know how to influence and persuade and sell, second to none.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Second to none.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Space.
Beautiful. Amy, did we cover everything that we had discussed tonight about the team training and all that good stuff?
I think so. What do you think?
I mean, I only had a few notes written down. I know you emailed me a bunch of notes. I think we covered everything. I mean, you guys, did you get some good stuff here tonight, everyone? Can you go leave some comments right here? I mean,
I don't see a comment box.
I don't see a chat box either.
Well,
no, it's like on the page, on the Hangout page.
Well, I went there. Let me go there again.
You gotta refresh. It doesn't update automatically. You gotta refresh the page to get.
Oh, I see the group chat.
No, it updates automatically. I've been getting comment feed going up. Yeah, there. Jenny just typed in "Go Broncos." It's updating great for me. Yeah, Parag, we need you to get on this chat feature then and kind of fix it up, because I'm the tech guy that put it in there and I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So.
Yeah, I don't even see it on mine.
I'm seeing a ton of comments all the way down this thing.
Well, read them off. Go ahead and tell us what are people saying here. We'd like to get some feedback.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Jenny wants it to be in Colorado.
Yeah.
Although I disagree with the Go Broncos because I'm a Packer fan, but that's awesome anyway.
You live here, so you got to be careful. You live here in the Denver area.
Well, dude, there's plenty of Packer fans up there. There's a lot of Midwest folk in Fort Collins, dude.
Yes,
a lot of Midwest, a lot of farm-fed people out here in the mountain town.
Cheesehead people hang out way up there in Fort Collins for some
I know, it's crazy, man. There's good music up here.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
That's that intention, Amy. You were thinking about it, so it just appeared.
No, it's a different browser again.
Quick question: Who would love to know how to sell a $3,500 product without getting on the phone with someone? Who would love to know how to do that? And I'm seeing incredible. So here's the thing, and you guys might have caught this a little bit earlier, but I want you to understand how powerful this is. And some of you there's still some of you on the call. Actually, more people are hopping onto the call here while the number's actually going up. That's pretty cool. People are still hopping on this late at night. It's a pretty cool thing. For those of you that are on here and you're not in Empower Network yet, here's a really simple thing. If you want to know how to sell a $3,500 product without getting on the phone with someone, well, your first step is to actually get into Empower Network for the $25. It's literally $25, and when you get in there, you can actually, if I'm not mistaken, Chris, I believe that once you're in, you can actually access any of the sales videos for any of the products by clicking on that tab that would go to that product, and the sales videos there, correct?
Yes.
Even if I don't have the 15K formula, I could look at the $3,500 formula, the Masters formula, the Masters course.
Yeah.
So you want to know how to do it. I've watched the Masters course sales video multiple times now. Why? Because David Wood goes through how he crafted that video and how he sells that stuff. And you actually get to see the video that sells the stuff. So when you watch that video multiple times, you're going to learn how to sell a $3,500 product just by watching the video. Even without going through the course, you're going to learn how to do it when you watch that video enough times. So you want to learn how that happens. You want to learn how to sell a $25 product, watch the $25 video. When you click the button down, like the clickable link below the button, you're going to see how to sell a $25 product, residual product in that video. You want to see how to sell a $100 product, check out the Inner Circle sales video. You want to see how to sell a $500 product, check out the Costa Rica sales video. You want to see how to sell a $1,000 product, check out the 15K formula video. You want to see how to sell a $3,500 product, check out the sales video. One of the biggest things that now here's what happens. Most people, when they get into a sales process now and they say, I don't have money, or I hate when people try and sell me stuff, and they shut down. I used to do that. I used to shut down. I used to shut down when the sale would happen. The people would get to the point where they were. I would go through a whole thing, and they would be teaching, and all of a sudden they'd say, they wouldn't say, "Hey, now I'm going to sell you, so you can just shut down." I would feel the sell coming on. I would feel that they were starting to say, "Get out your credit card." Not that they were saying that, but I would start to feel that coming on, and I would, in my mind, I would say, I'm not buying, so I'm shutting down. I'm not paying attention. I'm actually like going to sleep. I'm sitting here. My eyes are open. I can hear what they're saying, but I'm talking to myself in my mind about how I'm not going to buy their stuff, and I'm done paying attention to them, and I'm not listening anymore. And then one day I was sitting at this event that I went to that I couldn't even afford to go to. Someone got me a ticket for free. I couldn't even afford. It was amazing. I went down to this event in Chicago with this guy, Bill Walsh. His son Austin was putting it on. Bill Walsh has like a $6 or $7 million house down there in the Chicago area. Guy's a phenomenal speaker, really successful, really good at helping people. And so I'm at this event, and I'm driving my car that is literally like the muffler is blown out on the bottom. The thing sounds like a NASCAR. And at the end of the night, we got to go back to Bill Walsh's $7 million house to have dinner and have them speak there. And I had to turn my car off when I got to the gate, so that I could click on the button and talk to the person, because they couldn't hear me talking if my car was even in idle mode. So I actually had to turn my car off, say, could you open the gate for me? And I come pulling into their driveway and up to the house, and people are looking out the door at me as my car comes pulling in, sounding like a NASCAR. And that's kind of the position I was in at that time. And so I was so broke, like I couldn't, when the sale would happen, I would shut down. I would just, I'm done, I'm not paying attention. And the next day I was sitting, or it was actually earlier that day, I was sitting in the audience, and this guy was teaching me how to sell $8,000 products to people, or $15,000 products, or what have you. Whatever the number was, it didn't matter. And I was shutting down as he was getting into the sale, and he looked at me, and it was like magical what happened. He looked me like square in the eyes, like he was talking directly to me. He said, "It's okay, you don't have to buy right now. This may not be the time for you to go ahead and buy." And that's entirely okay, because this isn't for everyone. Not everyone has to go buy right now. You know, you may just learn some stuff, and this is only for the people who are ready to take action right now. Like Chris was talking about earlier, the people who are ready to take action from watching David Wood's videos and what we're doing here are going to take action. The people who aren't, they're not going to, and that's entirely okay. And when that happened, all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, so I can just freely pay attention here and watch you sell an $8,000 product and not feel guilty and not get all stressed out and not shut down. And that's when I actually learned how to sell an $8,000 product. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing how he just did that. That's phenomenal how he just did that. I learned something because I'd stopped shutting down during the sale. So when you stop shutting down during the sale, so go pay attention to these sales videos and listen to what they're doing and watch what they're doing and learn it and pay attention while they're selling you. You know, even if you don't decide to buy, that's awesome. Just pay attention. Really cool stuff.
You know, and let me just quickly piggyback on that, Jordan, because that's a really good point. Talking with Dave about this, you know, I started asking him, like, well, what courses were the ones that, you know, you learned all this internet marketing stuff from? And he's like, I didn't take any courses. I took NLP courses and influence courses, but what I did is I watched, you know, while everyone was watching the sales video, deciding whether or not what to buy, his focus was, you know, watching the sales video to see how they're selling. And that literally his research time and his fun time is watching sales videos just to see how it's done.
Yeah, he says if it makes me want to buy, then I watch it 20 more times.
Yep, exactly. And so, you know, that's just a funny thing as a side note that what might really help you take it to the next level is to shift and open your mind to where instead of going, okay, what are they trying to do to me here and I need to be protected, I need to protect myself, maybe I should open up and see what's happening here and look at what's happening and understand what's being said and then go watch it again to understand how it was done. And when I started doing that, my sales conversions, I mean, I didn't track it and test it enough, but I know it was more than doubled. You know, I was bad at tracking at the time, but it more than doubled. I'm still bad at tracking. So.
Yeah, me too. Oh man, I can't wait. Perig is going to do all my tracking, right? Perig, is that my Christmas present?
Yeah, right.
I love it.
Well, and like Jordan mentioned earlier about just, you know, I think, you know, it was you, Jordan, talking about when you just doing something over and over again every day, you know, eventually stuff becomes a habit. Like he's doing stuff right now that Rob Force had to do, and he doesn't understand why, and eventually he'll start to see the results. But over time, if you keep doing something over and over again, it becomes a habit. Like when I first was learning how to optimize a blog post, it was like I had to think about every step and every blog post. And now when I write a post, it's like optimized. My brain just knows how to insert the keywords as I'm writing. It just becomes a habit. And so it no longer becomes like this extra thing that you're doing. It just becomes what you do.
You sure that's not because you're like super special and superhuman, Amy, and like everything just comes natural to you? Are you sure that's not why?
I feel the opposite, actually. I really do. I feel like nothing comes natural for me. Everything takes more effort for me than most people. And I really truly believe if I can do this, anybody can do this, because I'm not, you know.
And there's the point I want to make there, and I think everybody, and I agree with the fact that you have to do it long enough. Now you have to do it long enough, but you don't want to do it long enough the stupid way. Meaning, do something for 90 days and don't kind of look back at what you're doing. Yes, you got to do it for 90 days, but you also got to reflect, okay, what did I do yesterday? What can I improve on what I did yesterday? How can I make it better? And then at some point, you know, that's what we are here for, is to advise you on what you can do better for the next time. So,
well,
you know,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, I'm a tech guy. It's easy for me when someone asks me, how do I put a video on YouTube, or how do I put an MP3 on my iPod? It's easy for me to, you know, answer, right? But I have I
go to YouTube and figure it out. That's what you said.
And And I used to do that. I used to, kind of help people on the technical stuff because it just comes really easy to me. Even things I don't know, I can figure it out really, really fast. But I realized that's not really helping people. And I kind of stopped doing that, and I said, just go and look it up. And if I have to just look it up for them, look up the video because they're having a hard time, that's fine. I can, sometimes I do that. But I try to really focus on a lot more on empowering people by strategy, helping them with strategy, helping them with preparing a routine or preparing a schedule, all this kind of thing that will help them get this result. And then let's say they do 2 weeks of blog post, and then they say, hey, I did 2 weeks of blog post. Can we have a look on a few of them and see what I can do better? Absolutely. And we love to do that because we know things that you might not know, and we kind of, that's, for me, it's easy to look at something and look at what to improve than just come up with stuff to do, because it's like,
but if you don't have any content to start with, then we can't look at it, so you gotta get moving on it.
Exactly. So
well, the only way to improve on anything is to keep doing it over and over.
And the same for paid marketing. I mean, if you're in a co-op, it's easier because we do it for you most of the things. But you're not going to be in co-op forever. So when you start doing your things, you can come up with ideas that are probably better than or smart ideas that you want to test out. And you create a capture page, and you test it out a little bit, and you see some conversion is like, hey, can we have a look? Can we schedule some time to have a look at the page, see what could be converting better? That's the kind of thing we love to do because it really applied. It's like really taking action on stuff.
Agreed.
So the point was, yes, doing it for long enough, but not without looking back and without improving. Just wanted to make that point there.
One thing I want to throw out to everyone who's actually, people are, the numbers actually increasing on this call right here. One thing I want to point out to all of you is you're going to see a link up above in the URL, and it's going to say some long link / ID equals, and there's going to be a username right there. Well, everyone who's already in Empower Network has a username, and you can actually take your username, put it in that link in place of whoever's username is there. Maybe it's Amy's, Chris's, mine, Perig's, anyone else who invited you here. What I'm actually doing right now is I'm going and posting on Facebook something like, hey, amazing, people are still coming onto this live hangout after 2+ hours because they want to learn how to help their team members, help their team members have results faster.
I think what's happening is the word is spreading about how awesome this hangout is, and people are telling people, you need to get on this thing right away and listen to what these guys are talking about.
So, here's what I'm going to do. Not only am I going to go and post that on my Facebook profile right now, because what's going to happen is people are going to come to this live hangout, and if the live hangout's going live or it's over, they can actually start the video at the beginning, so they're going to learn everything that you've learned here tonight. They can actually watch the video from the beginning. When your username's on there, even if you just joined Empower Network here tonight, even if you just get in right now, and you put your username on the end of there, you'll actually be able to send people to that hangout, and they'll be able to learn everything you learned here tonight, and people will be signing up and joining you. And that's pretty cool. And actually, let me come back to the hangout here and post a little comment. This is exactly what I posted.
And read some of the comments off to us, too. What kind of feedback are we getting now?
Great stuff. Thank you, guys. A good booster shot of inspiration.
I know. Yep.
Okay, because awesome. I can't see the comment feed. I don't see it.
You got it. I switched browsers.
Are you actually on the website, Chris?
No. I'm on the Hangout itself.
Yeah, it's not on there.
Let me post that for you.
I emailed you the actual link to the PHP website.
Link. Yeah. I see it now. Okay.
Yep.
Now I'm seeing the comment stream.
Well, there you go. Gotcha. You gotta actually take action and look for him, buddy.
That's it. Take action. That's what it's about.
Oh man.
I had it open earlier. I just didn't realize we had it on that page. Oh yeah. See, you don't have to be. I don't know any code. I do SEO and I don't know barely anything but how to put a hyperlink.
Uh-huh.
And even then, sometimes I have to remember and think about it for a long time.
Well, it was so funny, Chris. The night I met you for the first time was at the leadership training thing right before the first event. You know, we had the special for the top 100 affiliates or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was chatting with you and total geek chat. And
I remember
my head was like ready to explode. Like you gave me like 3 tips in this 15-minute conversation about whatever, how to make my blog posts get more traffic or something like that. And I walked away, and I had been hanging out with Mac, who was the top of #1 affiliate before that whole thing started that night. And so I walked back over. He goes, "What were you guys talking about?" I go, "I'm psyched. He just taught me about something about not to put any hyperlinks in the body of your blog post, to put them in the PS line to rank better." And he goes, "What the hell's a hyperlink?" In his New Jersey accent. It was so awesome because, you know, he's like, I don't know anything about that stuff. He's the #1 affiliate.
Yeah, and that sounds just like Mac too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's true. You know what? I mean, David Sharp did not know how to put tags on his blog. I'm not kidding you. Like, he was asking me, like, how do I put tags, dude? And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? You don't have to understand any technical stuff. We've done it, you know? It's good to go. So, yeah, but see, this is the thing. But that's a perfect example of, Amy, that, you know, someone who's the top earner can do that and make all kinds of money and not know barely anything. And here, I will complicate it and be like, oh, you can do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and I'm not the top earner, you know? So the simpler you keep it, you know, that's something that Rob Four and I always go back and forth with. I will teach him SEO stuff, although he teaches me SEO stuff all the time, but what he normally does is simplify all the stuff I throw at him. I'm like, well, what about this? What about this? We can do this, this, and this, and do this in layers and all this crazy stuff. And he's like, you're making my head hurt. How about you just do this? I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, you make my head hurt a lot, Chris. You and your layers, those layers.
This is why Dave said to me, let's create a tool that takes all that complex thought in your head and get it out on that, so that somebody can just simply do it and they don't have to worry about all that complex stuff that you're constructing and doing that takes you all the time in the world. Yeah, Jordan's like, I can't wait. Yeah,
I am so excited.
Yeah.
Ooh. You know, so there's, I mean, people are literally, the number is actually still going up, which I find to be very, very exciting that number is actually still increasing. Because, you know, you guys actually went and posted that link on Facebook like we told you to do here. See, you didn't even know what would happen, but you went and posted it and more people came on. And, you know, the beautiful thing is that some people might not see that link till tomorrow morning, and they might come on tomorrow morning and watch the recording tomorrow morning before they go to work, or maybe they took the day off tomorrow, or maybe they'll end up taking the day off so they can watch the whole training.
So they can join and get set up.
Exactly, and just get it all done right away and get moving, get cranking. So what else? I mean, I think we've covered pretty much anything. Do you guys want some closing thoughts here? We've been going for like 2.5 hours here. Any closing thoughts?
Get started with something.
Wait, I had something that I wanted to say about.
Definitely an assignment for the evening. I'll tell you what.
Getting started.
Getting started is definitely an assignment. Absolutely.
I mean, it sounds
even if
kind
you've
of
been
stupid.
in for 6 months.
I mean, it kind of sounds stupid, but it's. I mean, I cannot tell you. I've been doing online marketing for a while, and I cannot tell you how many people. And Amy mentioned that earlier, that she tells people to do things and they don't do it. I cannot tell you how many people I've talked to or gave assignment to, and nothing happened for whatever reason. Either they're tired, they will do it tomorrow, they don't know how to do it. I mean, whatever it is, right? Most of the time, it's just an excuse for I don't know why to not do it. And I mean, I have this feeling sometimes. I'm like, man, I don't want to do it now. I'll take the time to do it later. and I kind of learned to catch myself, catch it, and said, okay, it's the wrong way of thinking. I should do the thing right now. But if people are not getting started, just to, if you need to look on the inside to go and understand what's going on and get started, at least get the $25, and then when you're comfortable and you learn about us and you learn about why it's important to upgrade, then upgrade. But at least start something. I mean, not it's, if you're already in, get one share of the co-op. I'm probably have a few shares open. If you don't know anything. 4, right? If you don't even know anything about co-op, if you don't know what it is, the only thing we can tell you is that you will get some leads. We cannot tell you you're going to make money or sell or anything, but at least you're going to get some leads. And it's going to give you the baseline for everything you'll do for the years to come, because you have a comparison point. If you don't start to like, oh, maybe this will give me this amount of lead, maybe that one will give me this or that or this, but you don't know because you haven't tried yourself. This person is getting this conversion, this person is getting that conversion, then how do I know what I'm going to get? You don't know because you don't try.
Yep.
So personally, that's something that was hard for me to overcome, because I'm a very analytical guy, and I'm like, oh, I got to know all this stuff before I can figure it out. But now I kind of passed that, and I'm like, I don't want to mess with that. I'll just, here's $100 and let's start it and see what we end up with, and then we can improve on that. A great book related to that called Ready, Fire, Aim. It's kind of
very
like
good,
backwards kind of thing, and it's really the concept behind this, or the lean startup or lean entrepreneur, they call it, I guess. Basically, you start something and it gives you the baseline, and then you improve on that baseline, and you kind of make the corrections to get to the final results. And that's what I kind of did with SEO last year, and that's thanks to Jordan and Adam, where they got this 90-day challenge again. And that's when I started to do, every single day I was writing content and doing backlinking and all sort of stuff. And after 90 days, I got fantastic results. But I didn't know what I was doing at the beginning. I mean, I had concept, but I didn't know what tool to use. I didn't know what thing, what are the steps I should take, and I just got started, right?
Parag, you're being pretty modest right here. I mean, for everyone who's listening right now, I mean, this is seriously one of the. It was amazing to watch, because I had known Parag and I had seen him around, and I had seen him, like, I just knew that he was on the verge of greatness, and when he came into the 90-day challenge, and it's not me that took the action, it's not Adam that took the action, it's Parag that took the action. He got into the challenge with us, but he had to decide every day that he was going to take those action steps, even when he didn't feel like doing it. And so he went from less than 400 visitors a month to his blog. Okay, less than 400 visitors a month. That's like what? That's like 10 or 15 a day.
10 a day, yeah.
Something along those lines. It's crazy. That's not a ton of visitors. That's enough to get things moving. And that's awesome if you've never gotten results before. That's phenomenal. Don't ever compare yourself to someone else. But he went within 45 days. Within 45 days, he was getting 23,000 visitors a month to his blog. I mean, what is that? That's like a 6,000% increase, and my numbers are off. But the point is, and that's the point. He's being modest. That's what happens when you take action. So, Parag, I didn't, I meant to interrupt you there for a very important reason, and that's why, man. So keep going, buddy.
Yeah. And I didn't do anything special or anything crazy or anything secret. I just put that plan in place, and that's interesting because a lot of people, when they become entrepreneur, what they do is they and then they start and they go, and they never kind of stop and reflect on what's going on. And it's good to start. But it's, again, as I said earlier, it's good to reflect on what's happening and what to improve. So what I did is that I started to write posts and post my links and do all my backlinking and do all sort of stuff. But I didn't really have a process. I really didn't really have an order of what I was doing. It was kind of chaos. And then at some point, maybe a few weeks in, I was like, okay, it's way too chaotic. It makes my head hurt because I got to remember all this stuff I have to do. So what I did is that for a few days, instead of continuing that, I stopped and I took a piece of paper and I listed everything I was doing. I just wrote down everything. I was like, okay, how can I organize this that it will be more efficient, that will help me move forward faster? And I realized that what was really taking me forever to get done is write the content. So I was like, well, okay, what can I do? I mean, it's, you got to write a content, you got to have content. And that's really when I decided, when I said, I wasn't, at the time, I wasn't getting a lot of leads.
You're still going. Amy disappeared for a minute.
Yeah, I wasn't getting, I mean, before that challenge started, I wasn't getting a lot of leads. I didn't have a lot of content out. I wasn't making a lot of money because when you get no leads, you get no money, right? And I was like, the only way, because I knew I wanted to do SEO, the only way I could do it physically, because still working full time, is to get that content out of the way without spending my time doing it. So what I decided is to outsource the content. How to outsource the content? I had no idea. I didn't know how to do that. I kind of knew a few places of where to look and what to ask people to hire them, but I had no clue. And what I did is I tried a few people. Some were good, some were bad. Most were not very good. And I did a few times, and I found this great person that was writing article for me for $5 an article. And that's pretty darn good. And this person was working. She was really good writer. She was working really hard. If anybody is looking for a content writer, you can ask me. I give you her contact on Odesk. And I put that. That's easy for me to focus now. But on that note, yeah, it just take some action and reflect, and so fire and then aim and then get the results that you deserve. But don't get stuck on not taking any action because you're afraid of spending time, or because you're afraid of spending money. Oh, I should say because you're afraid of wasting time or wasting money, which if you don't do anything, you're wasting the time and the money anyway. So why not waste it on something or use it on something that will be actually useful for future results? And that's really what changed. And because I was doing the same thing I had been doing for a year before. The only thing I did change is put that plan and find a way that would work for me. So
and everybody's different.
And everybody's different. It might not be SEO. You might not want to outsource. You might want to start with the co-op if that's all you can do or have time to do. Start with the co-op, and then ask. I mean, one thing that we're pretty open about what we do, right? And if you ask us what kind of ad do you put, what do you talk about, what are the conversion, and we are ready to share all this. So if you want to take it a step further towards co-op or towards solo ads or PPC, whatever, we are here to make that happen, because we know that when people start to take their own action and grow their own, marketing skills, that's where most of the duplication and the improvement in the person will come in. And that's really what we want is for you to start with the co-op, but then become independent and get more and more traffic and leads and all that going on.
I agree.
So the only assignment for the week that I see is start with something, no matter what it is. If it's the co-op, even better, because that's really what that's one thing we're really focusing on with Jordan and Amy and Chris and a whole lot of people there. Is it going to work the first time? I don't know. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But at least we'll have a baseline.
Right. Mm-hmm. Just get started. I was sitting actually at Aaron Rashkin's house months ago, and I actually got the privilege, the opportunity, the amazing opportunity to listen to him This was when this is a different company he was in. These people would actually buy in at like a $50 level, and then he would actually call them on the phone and welcome them into the team and prospect them at that point. He didn't call leads that didn't pay money. He only talked to people that pay money. Same thing we do here at Empower Network. We talk to people who have already spent money with us that are more qualified. Dave does the selling at first, then we talk to the people who are qualified. It's a really cool thing. So I'm listening to Aaron talk to this guy, and this guy says to me, Aaron, I really want to make money here with you and this opportunity. How do I make money like you? What's my first step to making money? And Aaron said, you really want to know the first step? And the guy said, yeah, I really want to know the first. Nice beard, dude.
Hey, I'm Jordan. I'm you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he gets to do it to you. He gets to do it to you now because he had he was dropping all kinds of knowledge, and you were putting on friggin' swimming goggles and everything.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Are those your real glasses?
Mm-hmm.
So what Aaron said to the guy, plain and simple, he said to him, he said, well, your first step is to get in and get started. Get in, get started, get it set up. And then step 2 is to start taking action. But the first step is to get in and get set up. That's all that's the first step to you making money. You can't make money if you're sitting on the outside. What I see people do is they sit on the outside and then they go and tell people, they're like, look at this amazing opportunity over here. You got to check this out. I did it myself. I went to all my friends and family. I said, look at this amazing opportunity. Not about Empower Network. This was about something years ago. I said, look at this amazing opportunity. It's awesome. I'm going to be a millionaire with it. You should join me. You should get in with me. They'd say, well, if it's so amazing, why aren't you in yet? Guess what happened? I was dumbfounded. I was like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense. So how can you promote something and think it's so amazing if you yourself haven't just put in the $25 to get started? It's $25. Mm-hmm. Are people really going to think it's that awesome?
Did you guys see if you haven't seen it yet, go check out some of the video footage from that event that just happened in Florida. There's a great interview with David Sharp and David Wood that Tracy Walker took it, Aaron Rashkin, a bunch of people took video footage of it. I posted it on my blog, but it's really great to hear the vision of these guys. And Tracy asked them, like, how does it feel to see this materialize? Like, this was only David Wood's second time at the corporate offices. The whole time the Empower Network has been around, this is the second time, and he's like, wow, we have a lot of employees. Like, wow, like this is like an office. And so she was like, well, how does it feel to see this material, your vision materialized? And he talks about it, and it's powerful. And one of the things he says is like, we've created $20 million in the first year, but that's nothing compared to what we're about to do in 2013. And so you can you're going to be amazed, and you can either be amazed from the sidelines and like watch this movement happen before your eyes, or you can jump in and be part of the movement and walk with us as we do amazing things in this next year. And so really there's no better time than now, because if every minute that you wait is just, as Parag said before, every time he looks, another 10,000, 15,000 people have joined. So get in, and some of those people can be on your team, and this thing is on fire. It's not slowing down anytime soon.
Just getting going.
Yep.
Just getting going.
And just like Chris said about the events, I mean, they just keep getting bigger and bigger, and they double every time. It's incredible to see how fast this thing is growing, and to be in a room of people who are all just excited. And when they do that commission countdown and 95% of the room stands up because they've made money here. I mean, this is unprecedented. Like, this is a paradigm shift in so many ways. This is just something so different than anything that's ever been done before, and that's why it's growing so fast. And when I was talking to Sophia Rashkin at the last event, and she said that she believes that the reason that this is growing so fast is because it allows people to be themselves. I mean, David Wood stands on stage barefooted and curses and says whatever he wants, and so does everybody else. And she said it's so refreshing for people to be accepted for who they are and not have to show up in a suit and all this different, pretend to be business people when they're not business people and whatever. Everybody's accepted, all walks of life are accepted here, and people can just be completely authentic. And so that is really refreshing for people. So I think above and beyond anything, that's part of it. When you look at the CEOs, the guys that created this company, I mean, it doesn't get any more authentic than that. So I think it's extremely attractive for people, and it's a turnoff for some people when they see, you know, when they hear the way those guys talk and stuff like that.
But that's just because they haven't got over themselves.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's for people to be. It doesn't matter what they're saying if you're offended by the words they use. The fact that they're being authentic is a complete turn on for so many people. That's why this is growing so fast, because you don't see founders of other companies doing what they're doing, like talking the way they talk, dressing the way they dress. You just don't see it. So, you know, it just gives people permission to be themselves, and they want to be part of it, you know. So
you know, that's actually when I started having a change, Amy, and making money. I mean, I don't know if I don't even know if any of you guys remember, but I just looked at I was scanning through my Facebook photos the other day of my profile photos. And if you look back, about 6 profile photos on Facebook. Chris is probably going there right now to look at it, and he's going to start laughing in a second.
Did you have a suit on?
Oh my God! I actually went and bought a $90 shirt and had a nice, you know, pinstripe suit, and I actually went and got professional pictures taken to get a blog designed for like $800
I
of me in a
remember that.
Oh my God!
I remember that.
Well, it was because my brother had told me, he's like, dude, if you're going to be selling people stuff, you need to look professional. I'm like, Jason, I'm sitting in, because my first video of me ever was me sitting like in this exact chair right here. I'm sitting in this chair, and I'm wearing like a red hoodie sweatshirt and a baseball cap backwards. And that was my first video that I ever shot. And my brother's like, dude, you can't do videos like that. So all of a sudden, I'm like dressing up in nice button down the front shirts and like combing my hair, and like, you know, and I have like a plant in the video, and like getting the scene just, I mean, and there we go. Hold on. Perry, you got to make some noise, Perry.
Oh my God!
There it is.
Woo!
Oh wow! All right, what's up, GQ?
Oh man, you know it. So I remember I was actually you know, really uncomfortable with what I was doing there, but I figured that's what I had to do. And Ray Higdon actually, he pulled me aside. We were at the first live event that I ever went to, and he pulled me aside. He said, "Jordan, can I be completely honest with you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Dude, you look like a freaking idiot with that suit on. It doesn't fit you. It's not your style, and you need to get rid of it. You got to get rid of it." And I said, "Well, thank you, man. Like, that's, holy cow, that's awesome. Like, thank you for telling me that." And then I did, and I started making more money. It was amazing. Why? Because people don't want to have to fake something. They don't want to have to be unauthentic. They want to be real. And when you're real, who you are, and not that you have to go out of your way to offend people, or not that you have to start swearing and cussing like David would if you don't want to. And you know, you can wear shoes if you want to as well. I don't like wearing shoes, so I'm not going to wear shoes at the event. But you don't have to you can be yourself, and people are going to say, wow, if I could just be myself like that person, that's amazing. Wouldn't that be cool if I could do that and make money? And then they realize how real they get to be, and they're going to say, wow, I can actually do this. You know, when you're perfection and all this other stuff, when you wait to take action because you think you have to be perfect, and this doesn't go for just how you look or if you're barefoot or if you're swearing or not. If you think that you have to be perfect in your videos, and you wait till the timing is right and your videos are perfect and everything's just right, and then you're shooting this video and everything's perfect and it's scripted out and everything's detailed and you got the plant behind you and like the nice white wall with the image just set so right and all this good stuff. When
Offset you do a third.
You know, yeah, and you're off to the left because people typically read from left to right, so they look at the screen on the left and they'll notice you there and they'll pay attention to you. Really? You know, I mean, give me a break, you know? I mean, it's absolutely crazy because they don't want to have to do that themselves, and they're going to look at your perfection and say, oh my God, I could never be like that. I can't do that, so I'm not even going to get started. Well, that's what you're portraying. If on the other hand, you get up on a video, and I remember watching a video of Todd Falcone, he was like 15 minutes into his video, and he started tripping over his words, and he started smacking himself in the face really hard like this, and like blah, 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 and then he just like shook and restarted, and then that was it. And then he kept going. I would have deleted that video and started over at that point in time, and then I saw him do that. I said, oh, I can do that too.
Just smack yourself around a little bit. Yeah. You know, it's probably, you know, we're going on almost 3 hours, guys, and I just kind of want to wrap up real quick with a few last things here. And you know, on that note of totally being authentic and totally being real and being who you are, that was very much in the conversation when the vision was developed for Empower Network. Most people will never understand the amount of thought that went into why this thing was being done and how it was going to be done and how many conversations went into it. And most people won't even go as far as much to believe how big of a purpose this actually is. But I can tell you that the founders of this thing and myself and a few other people that really masterminded it, this has a bigger purpose than probably any of us can even understand or fathom right now. This is not so much as even just a paradigm shift, but it's a consciousness shift. It's an understanding of who we are. And when I was able and fortunate enough to witness David Wood completely come out of his shell and be who he was. As you know, first he tried for a while to wear a suit and all that. It was hilarious. He looks horrible in a suit, by the way, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And you know, and to see him go through that, it was a big lesson for me, and it helped me realize a lot of my purpose, and that was to help people set themselves free in their mind about what life is, you know, what we're put up in front of us. You know, it's like my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies is The Matrix, and one of my favorite parts is when Morpheus is talking to Neo and he says, you got to let it go, Neo. Fear, doubt, disbelief, all of it. Free your mind. And we saw David do that through his own personal blog, and we saw him inspire thousands and thousands of people to do the same. And that's what this thing is about, because on a consciousness level, people are starting to become real and authentic for the first time, and they have a place to do it at, a venue to do it at. And that's the space we're creating here for people. And that's going to continue to be the vision. So if you haven't been to a live event, you get there and that will be an experience like no other. I can guarantee you that. I can say that wholeheartedly because I've been to a lot of events over about 15 years of going to events and seminars, conferences, and everything, and even a lot of other network marketing events and internet marketing events. There is nothing like an Empower Network event. You gotta get there.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So here's an assignment for everyone here tonight, and this is something you can actually do tonight. You're going to notice that this video is on the website that you're actually watching it on, and you're going to notice a little YouTube button at the bottom that says watch on YouTube if you put your mouse on it. Well, when you actually go over there, you're going to notice a button down below there that says share, and when you do that, you can actually take this and embed this video onto your own blog post. And so what I want you to do is not only do that, take this video and embed it onto your own blog post, and actually, you know, put your own join now buttons down below or what have you, and just create a blog post. But then throughout the week, I want you to actually take some of the notes that you took here tonight, because I hope you were taking notes. I hope you were taking notes here tonight. I want you to take some of the notes that you took here tonight and either shoot videos or write blog posts or even write email copies or what have you. It doesn't matter how you do it all. And then point back to that first blog post that you created here tonight with this video on it, with some of the stuff you learned, and say, well, I learned this here, but I learned it over on this video, and you can actually go get all the golden nuggets right over there. And you're going to redirect people back to another blog post of yours where they're going to have the opportunity to join now on your team, and you're going to make money. So there's some assignments for the week. You can actually get 2 or 3 pieces of content, probably 4 or 5 or even 7 or 15 pieces of content out of this, whatever you have time for. But now you've got something to do throughout the next week here. Now you've got some pieces of content to put up, and you're pointing back to another piece of content on your blog that's selling these people, but we're training them. We're training them, and then we're selling. We're selling through training, and that's what's going to keep people coming back to you. Not just the straight sales pitch all the time, but selling through training. You're going to sell through training, and people are going to want to follow you and join you.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep. Just let them know also, you know, what the benefit of joining you is that you're a part of this team with that, you know, there's a lot of valuable, we have a co-op, we've got great training, we've got great people, you know, so always, I mean, that's the other thing I always tell my people to do that they don't do is let people know what the bonuses are when they join you. We've got bonuses, you know.
Brag.
Not every team has a team site and a co-op and a this and a that, you know, let people know. Because, and here's the other thing, I just want to touch on this just really quick because this came up. Somebody on my team was mad because one of her leads joined somebody else on another team. And she said, what's the point of getting leads if they can still join other people? And, you know, the thing is, people are shopping for a sponsor right now in the Empower Network. There's probably thousands or millions of people out there that know they're going to join and they just don't know who they're going to join with yet. So when you tell them that you've got these bonuses when they join you, that's going to have you stand out a little more from all the other people that they could join in the Empower Network right now. So don't be afraid to share that with them and share this training with them and share, you know, the things that you bring to the table when they join you.
And we do have a team training site in the works, already halfway built, with lots of extra training on there as well that is second to none. So you can use that as well, and we'll set it up that way so that you can promote that site as an extra incentive for people.
Well, and I have one built already that, you know, my team can use that way, and I really, you know, again, I really recommend that you do that. I have a page on my blog that lists all my bonuses. It's just my bonuses page. Like if somebody goes to my blog, they can see what they get if they join me, and I recommend doing that. I even have the HTML code for that page on our team site, so people can just put it on their blog and change my links to their links, and you know, have a page like that.
Wow.
Make sure you put your bonuses in front of people.
You know, that's like done for you, Amy. I mean, that's amazing. People can copy and paste what you put together and add their own username into the links. I mean, it's just a matter of you just doing it. That's all there is. I mean, you look at what we do here. I mean, you can copy Dave and Dave's emails for Monday nights. You can copy the emails that me, Amy, Perry, and Chris write for these Google Hangouts on Tuesdays. You can copy the emails that get sent out to the entire Empower Network. You can copy some of the emails that Amy or me or Chris or Perry send out, or some of your team leaders send out. Provided they're not telling, you know, like you can't copy Amy's email that says, hey, this last month I made $10,000, because you didn't make $10,000. But what you could do is you could actually forward that email and say, hey, I just got this from my team leader, and isn't it cool that I'm working with someone who's doing this? And then you could actually forward her email onto your people, provided you're still giving her credit, and change the links in there to your own links, because I know Amy would be happy to have you send out her email to your people with your links in it, giving her credit, and you make the money. And that way you're not, you know, it's pretty cool stuff. So it's so simple. It's not even funny. But again, we could keep, I mean, 3 hours here. We could keep training you, keep talking. And you know, quite honestly, it is midnight here. It's 2, 3 in the morning in some places. It's some people in the United Kingdom are actually just waking up, and I know right now there's a guy who's just waking up. That's literally probably just getting on this training right now, because he said, I'll get on it in the morning when I wake up, because it's like 5 in the morning my time. So I'll just wake up in the morning. You know, so that I gave you the assignments. Amy shared some good stuff with you. Chris shared some good stuff. Perry shared some good stuff. And with that being said, if you're not in yet, just get in and get moving. That's all there is to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, make it happen.
Done.
Done.
This call's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Right.